with a win, and that's our goal each and every week. There's still a whole lot of football left in this season, and we got to continue to stack wins.
Now the Bills face the Titans, who ran over the Jaguars last week and sit atop the AFC South at 3-2. Kevin Kugler and Ron Jaworski will have the call from Music City when the Titans host the Bills on Monday Night Football.
Remember to listen to Westwood One's exclusive coverage of the NFL all season long, right here on 1580 The Fanatic, Arizona's new home for sports.
For the ones who know safety isn't a catchphrase, it's a culture. And the ones who help make sure everyone makes it home safe. For the safety-minded who watch everyone's backs, Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as safety assessments and training to keep your facilities safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, frequent heartburn may keep you from running your A game, but it doesn't have to anymore. Join the Prilosec OTC 2-week challenge. Just go to prilosecotc.com. You'll get $3 off to get you started, plus 14 days of tips, tricks, and reminders. Just 2 weeks, zero heartburn. Go to prilosecotc.com and sign up today. Zero heartburn is possible with Prilosec OTC. Used as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
Still looking for that one special voice that makes you fall in love with podcasts? The One is out there and free on Spotify. With over 2 million shows and today's most talked about podcasts, Spotify is the best place to find that one special show that makes you laugh, keeps you interested, and keeps you listening for more. Whatever you're into, get way more into it with a podcast. Find the one you've been listening for right now, free on Spotify.
Panera believes in saying yes. Yes to clean, fresh ingredients. Yes to the new chicken sausage and pepperoni flatbread topped with rich mozzarella. Yes to delicious mac and cheese. Yes to putting it on a sandwich, creating the grilled mac and cheese sandwich. And yes to impromptu road trips to Sandwich, Illinois. Because that's living life to the flavor fullest. Get $1 delivery when you order on our app. Panera. Live your yes. Pricing and product availability may vary. Visit PaneraBread.com.
All right, people, settle down. Because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's Monday here on the Daily Blender. Your good friend, Radio Pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside, where's Randy? Has Randy shown up yet?
I have not seen Randy.
I don't see him on the camera. He hasn't talked on the mic yet. Well, I'm sure he'll be along shortly, but we got Keon Rose in the control room there, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studio in Scottsdale. And we have, again, another packed show, packed to the very brim with everything that happened in football over the weekend. Before we get to everything else, it's just how you like your chances right now, Keon? How do you like your chances right now in the fantasy football? You're up by 37 points on me, but I have Emmanuel Sanders and Mr. Knox, the tight end for Buffalo. So are you feeling safe?
I don't feel safe.
Confident.
I don't feel even remotely safe. No.
I think you should.
I think my chances are good, but I don't feel like I've got it in the bag.
Yeah. Yeah. I you know what? It'll be my luck. I'll get 36 points out of them because I traded Stephon Diggs off to Moist One for Kareem Hunt, and I got a whole 10 points out of Kareem Hunt. Well, am I lucky or what? And an injury, which will probably have him out for a whole lot of weeks. But okay, well, you gamble, you roll the dice, you try to fill a space on your fantasy football roster, and that's the way it goes. And I don't know I can't remember what you traded to Moist One. I can't remember what Randy traded to Moist One. Whatever it was, it worked because now he's become a juggernaut at the other end, and he's going to beat Randy this week. Is this a fluke or is he now a formidable team? Did we just create a monster in the Premier League?
Well, I don't know because I know I traded Mike Gesicki and Latavius Murray to him, and Gesicki might be able to keep putting up points.
Boy, yeah, that guy, he went off, didn't he?
Yeah, which he hadn't done all season, so that figures.
Right?
Latavius Murray had a good day, but Latavius I just think that he's in a running back by committee offense where 3 guys rush the football if you count Lamar Jackson.
The first guy in the committee is always Lamar. He's running back numero uno in that setup.
Yeah, and then you've got to count Devonta Freeman, who also scored, and Le'Veon Bell, who also scored.
Yeah, where'd that come from? He was a practice squad guy until just moments ago. And it was funny because I mocked Moist One for picking up Le'Veon Bell. Now I'm mocking him for having dropped him because it's just fun to mock. Anyway, so, good luck. I'm not trying to tear down you or nothing, Keon, but I'd like to have this win. I'd really like to. So there's that. The other thing is I had a chicken sandwich today. And it's from the sponsors of the AIA. It's a place called Raising Cane's. I don't know if you've been to the Raising Cane's. I know you helped with that production, Keon, and I'm sure you've heard their commercials. And I don't know if you've had any of their chicken. Have you had any?
I have. It's pretty good.
Yeah. So the chicken is great, but my wife was she was in a hurry, and I got a nice surprise. Unexpected chicken sandwich. She was out and about doing her stuff, and I got an unexpected chicken sandwich for lunch. And I was like, ooh, okay, I've never had anything from Raising Cane's before. And so I got the chicken sandwich. First off, yeah, the chicken is amazing. The chicken is amazing, but I have a problem with the sandwich. All the sandwich is 3 big chicken tenders lined up in between 2 buns.
That's it?
It's not a chicken sandwich.
No
It's
lettuce?
not a chicken sandwich. That's a lazy chicken sandwich. Oh, no, there was a spinach or something in there. And it had a nice sauce. I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just saying it was not a chicken sandwich the way you're used to.
Did you want a patty? Were you expecting that?
I thought a bigger chunk of chicken. I'm not going to tell these people how to do their business, but if we're honest, that's 3 chicken tenders inside of a bun. That's all I'm saying.
No, I don't think you're wrong.
Maybe some people like it that way. I like a big old chunko chicken in there. I'm just being picky, I guess, because the other part is it was really good. It was really good, but I was a little bothered, because I'm easily bothered. Everybody knows that. Anyway, so that's, you got anything you want to complain about or anything to happen?
I've plenty I want to complain about, but it's mostly related to my football team, and I don't really want to talk about it.
We'll get there. We will get there whether you like it or not. We will get there.
Yeah.
King Kitten says, good afternoon. Hey, I'd like a beer and a shot of Crown, please, to celebrate an excellent Cardinals victory. Well, yeah, if you could pour that, Keon, that'd be great. But Randy is MIA at the moment, and we don't know why. I think he forgot that we're on early today. I think that might be what it is. Boomer Sooner says, crap, Jeffrey, I won again with Tannehill still to play. I'm up by 20. Boomer Sooner. Well, you are what they call in garbage time. So congratulations. Being in garbage time is a great thing. Just padding your stats, not having to really care about the outcome. I love garbage time. I have not been in garbage time that much over the last couple of years. Garbage time and me are old acquaintances. Oh, we used to see each other all the time. Lately, no, last week I did. I enjoyed some garbage time. I got some serious points. This week, no, I'm in stress eating time. Watching tonight's game, I'll be stress eating. That's what I'll have to do there. We have a lot of football to cover, but before we do, let's hit the non-football things. First off, this just broke from Woj. I guess the Suns talks with DeAndre Ayton on his rookie extension have ended without a deal. Ayton expected the max contract, owner Robert Sarver not offering it. And I guess more coming on consequences for failing to reach a deal. Okay, well, I can't get upset about this because I agree with Sarver. And I've seen some of my counterparts out there in the Twitterverse saying, I can't even be a fan of the Suns anymore after the way they're treating DeAndre. You mean accurately and fairly? Saying, okay, well, your contract that you're in right now is not up. You want a reward. You want a reward for almost winning the championship. Well, let's break down your play. Let's go ahead and look at everything that happened. Yes, we will give you in your evidence pile your stats, but I will give you in an evidence pile lots of missed opportunities and not stepping up where you need to. But here's something that kind of occurred to me, Keon. If you put DeAndre Ayton on any other team, he doesn't look that good. Why? Because the play of Booker and the play of CP3 and a lot of the other Suns help make him look good too. There's that aspect that people aren't considering. So if you had stuck him on the Timberwolves or if you stuck him on the Trailblazers, would he be a household name? Would he be somebody that you're like, that dude needs to get a max contract? Well, this is on the young formative years of the Suns becoming a playoff contender. And now here we are. Everybody wants to say, oh, throw the money at him, throw the money at him. But is he that guy? Is he that guy? I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know if he's necessarily that guy. I think DeAndre Ayton could probably wind up put big enough numbers if he was on a really bad team, like Kevin Love did for years and years and years in Minnesota.
Or he'd be on a really good team and he'd be unnoticed. I mean, he's on a really good team with the Suns and he only got noticed because we were the ones who drafted him. You see what I'm saying?
Right. I think that DeAndre Ayton is a max caliber player, but I also don't have a problem with the Suns taking their time and saying, we've got a whole year to evaluate this guy. There's no rush to try and give him a bunch of money when what we've seen from him so far is that he is at best the third scoring option on a team. Like maybe you don't want to give the max to a guy like that. I tend to look at, is he a top tier guy in his position? I think so. And that's why I think that the money is warranted. But I don't think that this is, the Suns are just dumping,
Jilting.
Just completely disrespecting this guy because they have a year to evaluate him and see if they can see more. Because you know that the Chris Paul ride isn't going to last forever. And maybe you want DeAndre Ayton to prove that he can be a second scoring option on this team alongside Devin Booker one day. And if he doesn't show you that, there might be a reason not to pay him.
Mr. Pringle says Sarver's pulled this stunt before, i.e. Joe Johnson. Suns wouldn't be the same without DeAndre. You don't bleep with a good thing. Hey, speaking about a good thing, Randy White, there you are. Got your internet all sorted out? You bet you're ready to go?
Yeah. I believe everything is going to be good from here on out.
Yeah. Excellent. Yeah. Now, you had a great weekend. You had a great weekend with the Cardinals winning that game.
I did with the Cardinals. Sun Devils, that's a different story, but the Cardinals, yes.
Okay.
It was a good weekend.
Yeah, glass half full, Randy. Okay, but we'll go ahead and talk about that. What happened to the Sun Devils? And I wake up this morning, they've fallen out of the poll again. They're like a trampoline into the poll, out of the poll, into the poll.
Yeah.
And they got beat by the Utes. What is the deal here? Are they going to be bouncing back and forth into the poll, or is this last loss enough to keep them out for a while?
Have a feeling this might keep them out for a while, unless they really come in and dominate. Hey, once you get out of the poll and you come back in and you start working your way back up, and with the evolution of BYU losing and some other top teams losing, not going to be a lot of room for an ASU to sneak in and out, in and out, in and out. Have a feeling, unless the Sun Devils run the board and really dominate, you won't see them back in the top 20 poll the rest of this season.
Yeah, they started off strong against the Utes. They were criticized for having a slow start. Well, they remembered to have the fast start,
right,
and then they forgot the last two quarters.
Yeah.
And then the defense said, oh, well, we can give up 2 touchdowns each quarter. Yeah, why not? So the end, that quarterback stepped up, and the ASU defense went to sleep. So did the offense. End of story. Now we got to take on Washington State on October 30th.
And what's really disappointing about the way that the defense kind of stalled out in the second half is I saw them put this up on the screen and on the game. I actually took a picture with my phone. Coming into the game, ASU had one of the best second half defenses in the country, third in points per game allowed, 5th in passing yards per game allowed, 2nd in sacks in the second halves of games. It just didn't happen. And I just think that is a massive failure, that if you're a team that has the aspirations of winning the Pac-12, can't happen. Just can't happen.
Yeah, it wasn't good. I mean, yes, Daniels, he got his 5,000 career passing yards in the first half. Not in one game. I mean, this is career.
Right, career.
And, Arizona State became the first team to score points on Utah in an opening drive this season. Okay, that's nice. And, they got over that start of game slump. Now they've got to take care of the end of game slump. I don't know. I don't even know what to make of this Jekyll and Hyde Arizona State University team, but I can say this. At least they've won some games, you Arizona. Oh, you suck. You suck so bad, you Arizona. How? How do you suck so bad? What are you doing this? You know, there's no draft, right? You can't tank to get high school players.
Yeah.
You just have to recruit them. Oh my God, Arizona is bad. You suck so hard.
So at this point, I'm inclined to think we do actually have to look at the coach. I remember what happened with Arkansas when they hired, I forget the name of the coach out of SMU, and he was an offensive-minded coach, and he came in and they were losing a bunch of games. And I think they similarly started like 0-5 or 0-6 and something. And everyone was like, don't worry, he's just got to get his players in there. Well, the moment that they fire him and hire Sam Pittman, immediately they look like a juggernaut. I do think at some point, Jed Fish, time to look at him. You may not have all your guys in there.
We were looking at him from the beginning saying, "What the hell are you doing?"
Yeah, with his 2-quarterback system that he was threatening to run.
Well, but listen, this is his first season. Don't you have to give him 2 seasons to prove that he's an illegitimate coach?
I got 2 words why. You know why no? You know why no? 2 words. Ed Orgeron. He's available.
Hey, listen, he could come to U of A. You get that system to get that system running. Go Wildcats.
Listen, and he's showing up rich. He's got his whole LSU contract getting paid out.
Yeah,
and they're looking for a new coach. But of course, Arizona maybe put their hat in the ring to get the Orgeron. By the way, can I just ask, did he suddenly become a horrible coach, guys?
No.
Well,
so why is he falling on a sword? Why are they making him fall on the sword?
Well, I don't think it's him. I think it's the university. I mean, this is the SEC. This is LSU specifically of the SEC, supposed to be a powerhouse football program every single year since he won the national championship in 2019. He's been just barely above 500. There have been some reports about his lackadaisical attitude at practices. Apparently, there's been some personal decisions in his life, personal things that have happened, and that has changed the way he's run practices and sort of things like that. So I'm sad to hear this about Ed Orgeron. I always thought he was a wonderful coach and really one of the more colorful personalities in college football. But look, colorful personalities don't get it done. Ed Orgeron just could not get that LSU team with all of that talent, by the way, heading in the right direction and at least competing for a national championship.
Did we forget he won a championship not too long ago with Joe Burrow?
Yeah, 2019. And since then,
eternity?
Since then he's been 9-8, I believe is his record.
So he's Tomlin right now. He's being a Mike Tomlin. So you know what I'm saying? Why are they flushing the toilet of this guy so fast?
It's a combination of things. One, I lived out in the SEC country. It's crazy. The expectations for certain schools, LSU being one of them, is like championship caliber every year. You can't give us. We may not win it every year, but if you can't give us a team that looks like it can win one every year, you can take a hike. And it doesn't matter that you've won one. We want to keep seeing it. Like, watch Nick Saban ever lose 3 games in a season. Alabama fans are going to start saying, well, maybe he fell off a little bit. Maybe he lost his touch. That is the expectation that they have over there. It's a little insane, but that's the way that they look at it. Like, we recruit, we've got the talent. We ought to have that kind of a team. And the other thing was, like, last year he hired a lot of his friends, and like Bo Pelini was the defensive coordinator. And it was a complete disaster.
That's what I'm talking about. He made a lot of changes there. He had some life changes personally, and I think he just he lost that edge. And when you're coaching an organization like LSU, if you're 9-8 over 2 seasons, it's just completely unacceptable. They're not going to keep you around there at all.
Well, I tell you what, there's a lot of teams out there who will take old Ed, and old Ed's getting paid. So you might even be able to get him for a little less money just to see him keep doing what he loves. Listen, guys, we have to take a break. When we come back, let's get caught up on that text line. I got a few more non-NFL football things that we need to talk about really quick. But as God is my witness, we will have talked about every game that happens Sunday by the end of this program. Monday Night Football starts at 4:30. The broadcast does. The Bills versus the Titans. And the actual game, I believe, starts around 5 o'clock. But, of course, we got that pregame stuff going on. So in the next 2 hours, We're going to talk about every damn game, starting with your Arizona Cardinals when we come back. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Everybody, Mark Asher, back to tell you about my friends at Valley Medical Weight Loss. I love this company. I've used them. I have friends who've used them. A ton of weight has been lost in a quick amount of time, and the right way. That's the important part. Look, they have 3 Valley locations, Tempe, Glendale, and Phoenix. So one is close to you, and they've been doing this for well over a decade. And right now, you can get your first week, $31.95, absolutely free. Just mention Money Radio or mention The Fanatic, and it is on them. 602-441-3305 or valleymedicalweightloss.com.
Your favorite radio station.
And now you're up to date on the news. Stand by for weather and traffic right after this.
It wakes you up, starts your day, and keeps you informed as well as entertained.
You guys are absolutely the best.
How do you like to work here?
At The Fanatic, we're looking for commissioned sales reps to knock on doors, set up appointments, and extol the benefits of advertising with your favorite radio station. Send your resume to jobs at 1580thefanatic.com.
AZ Preps 365 is your headquarters for all things high school sports in Arizona. Brett Quintine, James Mello, and Jose Garcia keep you up to speed with all the action, highlights, interviews, and insider information for the prep sports scene. You need to tune in to AZ Preps 365 every Saturday morning from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on your new home for sports, 1580 and 99.3. The Fanatic. And always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
Distracted driving is dangerous, Arizona. When you pick up your phone to send a text message, you're putting lives at risk. When you pick up your phone to take a call, you're putting lives at risk. When you pick up your phone to check an email, you're putting lives at risk. And now, when you pick up your phone while driving, it's also against the law in Arizona. Don't get a ticket. Don't pick up your phone. Sponsored by Arizona Chapter, National Safety Council, and Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
Everybody, Mark Asher, back to tell you about my friends at Valley Medical Weight Loss. I love this company. I've used them. I have friends who've used them. A ton of weight has been lost in a quick amount of time, and the right way. That's the important part. Look, they have 3 Valley locations, Tempe, Glendale, and Phoenix. So one is close to you, and they've been doing this for well over a decade. And right now, you can get your first week, $31.95, absolutely free. Just mention Money Radio or mention The Fanatic, and it is on them. 602-441-3305 or valleymedicalweightloss.com.
For a good time, listen to the Daily Blender.
Boogie says, are there any sports books laying lines on high school football in Arizona?
I was in the deep south where nothing is more important than high school football, and no.
Then I announce the beginning of the Daily Blender Sportsbook for high school betting only. We might fail as a sports book.
It's
especially if we start with high school betting. That might be a thing where the government comes and shuts us down immediately.
The Daily Blender, weekdays 3 to 6 on 1580 The Fanatic.
Hey, Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic, Arizona sports betting station. And by the way, I'm trying to figure out which one of those apps I'm going to use. I have not made a decision yet, but I am going to. I'm going to take like $100. I'm going to get one of them apps, and I'm going to try to follow the tutelage of our friend Josh Applebaum from Vision, who's giving us our sports betting 101 classes every Friday at 4:20 here on the Daily Blender. And I'm going to see what I can do. But before I do, well, I've got to choose the right app, and I have not quite done that yet. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of like choosing a good fantasy football, platform or app, right? It's just, the first thing you use, that's the one you get comfortable with.
Well,
and that's probably what you're going to stick with, right?
Well, I don't know, Keon. I don't know about you, but I'm thinking about using that new app. It's the Pineapple app, where you do pineapple sports betting. Yeah, there's a lot of pineapple involved. Well, and you have an app that's got the pineapple and the sports betting built in there.
Randy, when the pineapple is yours, then you should deal with that pineapple.
Yes.
So maybe use the little pineapple that comes with a cell phone thing on it.
I think you're both using the app, to be honest.
It makes a lot of noise. It makes a
yeah. Well, it's probably better than this. So outside of that, I eventually I'm going to start doing it. I just don't know what I'm going to use yet. I know that Keon, you said use the Bet MGM thing.
Yeah,
and then there's I know the FanDuel things out there, and That's all I can remember. Those are the only 2 apps in existence, as far as I know.
I mean, I know there are some other ones, but like you said, I started using
Barstool Sports.
That's true. Yeah.
Thing. They got one. And what's the other ones?
The win bet.
Whenever I want.
No, win.
Whenever I want, Randy.
No,
if I want to, I do this during the game. I want to do it at the beginning of the week.
Not when. Win.
If not now, win.
In no WYNN. Win.
It's not how you spell it. It's WHEN.
No, win. Win bet. The win bet app.
This is very frustrating.
Yeah,
this is why I have not picked one yet.
You just go to the damn app store and look up win bet.
There is no app store. You just walk around and pick an app.
No, on your damn phone, Jeffco.
Oh, so what do I just search? Betting apps?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Didn't know it was that easy.
Yeah, it'll come up. It'll come up.
All right. See, I've got a Droid. They're, everything's free for me. I don't know why I didn't think about that. Well, I'm going to pick one, and eventually I'm going to do it, man. I'm going to do it. All right, we can't get too distracted. We're going to get run out of time, and then we won't be able to achieve what we set out to achieve. So, really fast, the Coyotes. If you're wondering if they've won a game yet, they haven't. Next, let's talk about the baseball real fast. The Braves. The Braves are making me happy. The Braves are making me happy. They beat the Dodgers in a close one, 5-4. And then before that, a close one, 3-2. They're doing what they got to do to get this done. So I salute you, Braves. But let me ask you a question. Were those both home games for them?
Yes.
Oh. Who has home field advantage? The Braves?
Braves do. The series now moves to Los Angeles for 3 games, and then back to Atlanta for the last 2.
Okay. Well, then we can also be happy that the Red Sox beat the Astros. Now that series is tied, and their next game is later on this evening. So if you get tired of watching the NFL, you can just turn over and see that.
And I believe that series has shifted to Boston as well.
In Boston, that's right. So that's where that is now. Also, congratulations to the Phoenix Mercury for a fine season. Sorry you didn't win the championship. I'm not even sure if this had been televised, but
it was televised. I think it's a curious decision to put that game on an NFL Sunday. To compete with the NFL.
I didn't even know it was happening. Nobody told me.
I knew it was happening, but if you're going to make me choose between the WNBA and the NFL, it's the NFL a billion times out of a billion.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, if I were to become a fan of the WNBA, Vandersloot would be my favorite WNBA name.
Oh boy,
love me some Vandersloot.
I actually thought, well, if we ever did bring it up, that I knew that was exactly where you're going to go. You're going to start making fun of Courtney Vandersloot's name because it's just there. It's just laying there. It's very easy.
Well, Tarasi said that sounds like a Mexican dessert, But Vandersloot, there's so much fun to be had there.
Oh
which probably get me in trouble. So we'll move on.
Yeah.
The next thing and the last thing before we talk about the Cardinals is Lane Kiffin getting beamed with a golf ball.
Oh boy,
hilarious! Did you see the video on that? I guess Tennessee fans were very upset and they started throwing things on the field, and of course now all the cheerleaders had to run off, and they were throwing bottles, and somebody threw a full bottle of mustard on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Where did that come from? Did they steal it from concessions? Did they have it in their fanny pack? I just don't know how that happens. But according to the announcers, there were vape pens, golf balls, water bottles, beer. There's a whole jar of mustard down on the damn field. So, did they get a flag? Did they penalize the crowd like they've done in past games?
They didn't penalize the crowd, but they did fine the University of Tennessee $250,000 today.
Good.
For the behavior of the fans, because you got to keep them in check.
Yeah, that is ridiculous. What happened to all the people who stand there like this, watching the crowd, not watching the game, staring at the crowd?
You know what it is? They're Tennessee fans too. Right? Tennessee fans are some of the most bitter fans that exist in sports, because they went from, we had Peyton Manning to, oh God, what's happened now? And they haven't been relevant in a decade. And Lane Kiffin in particular is not the reason, but he kickstarted the whole thing. He left Tennessee to take the USC job in the middle of the night, and they haven't been good since. And they blame him. And he came back, and they weren't having any of it.
Come on. Yeah.
So where was security?
Yeah.
Probably
throwing
stuff too. Yeah.
Here, let me help you with that. It's all right. It doesn't matter if she's a cheerleader. She knew the risks.
Yeah. Okay. Unless anybody has anything else, I'm ready to move on to the NFL.
Let's do it. I mean, most of the NFL. We can skip certain games.
No, we're not skipping the Washington football team.
Oh, why?
I have all of them in order of our picks contest. That's how we're going to do stuff. The only one we're going to do out of order is, of course, the undefeated 6-0 Randy White's favorite team, the Arizona Cardinals, took down the Browns 37-14. And wow, that was a fun game. And all this time you were kind of like, oh God, here it comes. But then it never came. Nothing ever happened. Randy, what'd you think about this game, man?
I thought my first thought of the entire game was thank you, Cleveland Browns, for giving us so many opportunities to have the ball. All of your penalties really helped us out. By the way, your defense is very good, but we were able to find a way around it. And I really thoroughly enjoyed the Browns broadcast on the Fox or what is CBS, whatever it was, this past weekend with old Dirty Mark Sanchez and his partner. All Browns all the time with all their information and very little about the Arizona Cardinals being 6-0. You would have thought this was the Browns' hometown broadcast, in my opinion.
Well, it was a home game for the Browns, and fat lot of good it did them. So I don't know if everybody is ready to say this is the game that legitimizes the juggernaut that is the Arizona Cardinals. What other game will it take? Who do the Cardinals have to beat to get that respect? Because I noticed something during the game. Kyler Murray doesn't have any commercials. Kyler Murray doesn't do any national commercials.
Well, he isn't
Mahomes
that
doing it.
Nissan
Aaron Rodgers.
Heisman House.
He's standing on a book to dust a trophy on a shelf, and he's not really in a commercial. So why doesn't Kyler Murray have any respect on his name? Why doesn't he have any national commercials?
Well, I can't speak to that. All I know is the Arizona Cardinals, kudos to you. Going into a hostile environment with a situation like you had, your head coach was out, two of your defensive guys out, some of your coaching staff out. You had sort of a mishmash of communication chains to get to Kyler Murray. You had one guy doing the run game, one guy doing the pass game, one guy doing all the calls into Kyler Murray. Hell, you had Colt McCoy down there helping the offensive coordinator come up with plays. And yet you were able to go out there and string together a game where you all were clear-minded and working as one. How about J.J. Watt, by the way? Have a day, J.J. Watt and Marcus Golden. Both of those guys enabling that defense to stand tall once again. And I got nothing but I'm shaking my head. I don't know what's happening. This is not normal for me as an Arizona Cardinal fan.
I'll tell you what you don't need. Cliff Kingsbury. You don't need it. This just shows you talent has overcome a non-existence air raid theory. So what you have now is a good, talented roster where Steve Keim looks hurt smart. And then we get to see, hopefully you get to see Zach Ertz play. There had been some rumors bouncing around. There may be another trade coming, but I don't think that's true. Unless he's refusing to play or something. But then you saw him on the sideline wearing a Cardinals jacket and hat. He seemed like he was in, like, hey, I'm here. So, I think you should be very excited about seeing that additional piece to your team. It was a very scary sequence of events getting into this game because they had to place Corey Peters on the COVID-19 list. They had everybody. Steve Keim, I think, did he have it? I think Steve Keim had it. I know that Coachman had it. Chandler Jones had it. Yes, and other people. So they're a little bit nervous about the whole COVID thing down there at Cardinals headquarters. But Vance Joseph says, we are pretty damn nervous about this thing. So I'm sure that they're doing everything they can. He says it's a definite moving target. So it's it's one of those things that can really stop the momentum of a team if you end up having a bunch of guys go out from COVID diagnosis or close contact. So hopefully you've just had the worst of it and it keeps going. But your Cardinals did just fine.
And they need to keep going this week. There can be no let up. Do not overlook the Houston Texans coming to town this weekend. Do not overlook them. Take care of business. Go out there and handle what you need to handle and take care of this game before you take on Green Bay on a Thursday night football game. Yep. Do not overlook the Houston Texans and look on to the Thursday night game. Yeah.
Although, if my Colts can beat the Texans, Randy, you had better beat them.
I am a long-suffering Arizona sports fan. I have seen it too often before.
Yeah. But this team is different. First off, I don't think they overlook anybody. They just don't seem like that team. Even the Jacksonville game where they got off to a slow start, it didn't look like they were overlooking Jacksonville.
Well, they had admittedly sort of overlooked San Francisco. A lot of them said, we got a little complacent there. We thought, okay, we've got this all figured out. I wouldn't say that was overlooking, but I don't think that they had taken that game as seriously as they should have. And I think that they won't make that mistake again because that was close.
And it shows because they've scored over 30 points in literally every other game they played.
And what about the Minnesota game? The defense was nowhere to be found in the Minnesota game. And had it not been for an errant field goal kick, we could be talking something completely different.
I don't think that they overlooked Minnesota. I think that this team does struggle against the run. And Dalvin Cook had a really good game that game. And by the way, they scored 34 points. It's not they didn't overlook Minnesota.
Yeah, everybody has a bad day. Just hope that the Cardinals have already had theirs.
Yeah.
And the rest is just going to be amazing. And so, I guess the team everybody wants to see you beat is, according to 227, Cardinals have got to beat Green Bay. And that sounds legit to me. Just a Tip says a microcosm of how good the Cardinals defense is occurred on the Browns' second down with about 5 minutes left in the first quarter. Offense was moving student body to the left. Marcus Golden stayed home on the weak side, so Mayfield couldn't drop off an outlet pass or run that way himself to an empty field. Then Marcus caught the running back from behind for a loss on the strong side. Brains, speed, power. The Cardinals defense is awesome. Yeah, they let some yards accumulate, but when they need a stop, they get that stop.
Well, and I saw that a couple of times. You're exactly right. Not only Marcus Golden, but Isaiah Simmons did the same thing one time. Everybody was going left, and they tried to drop back that pass to the right, and there was Isaiah Simmons and stuffed him right there at the line of scrimmage, maybe even for a loss.
Yep.
And that's the way this team is operating right now. They're smart. They're not ahead of themselves, and they go out there and do their job. And I don't know what to say. I'm just riding the wave. I mean, this is fun.
Happy, man.
Yeah, this is fun.
Yeah. Now, if my Colts were doing this, I'd be a very happy man. You'd see a different version of me as a Colts fan. I wouldn't be braggadocious. I wouldn't be calling people out. I would just be enjoying the moment. I am enjoying the moment of a Colts win. Right up until I remember who they beat. So I still don't feel happy. So Kyle G says, so guys, since Aaron Rodgers now owns Chicago, do I as a Packers fan get to own a Bears fan? I choose Bob Swirsky. I need a deep dish with buttery crust and Parmesan on top, please. Kyle G now thinks he owns Bob Swirsky. I think he might have something else to say about that. Blissful Hayes says, congratulations to the Cardinals. Kyler Murray proved he has little need for a head coach to win NFL games. True statement.
It's a true statement. I'm not going to blow the whistle on that one. You tried, though. You tried.
Yeah, I think he's trying to get him by you. He's trying to slide him by you.
I hear it.
The thing is, if you're too subtle, you just state a fact.
Yeah, we all go, yep, he's right. Charlie Boy says, hey, guys, Cardinals are 6-0. Even without Cliff, the Cards still got the job done yesterday. Randy, please pour me a soda, please, and thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fed Fan says, hey, Keon, would you like a carved pumpkin? I carved pumpkins for Randy, Jeffrey, and the old Radio Ron there. I was thinking of maybe a Frankenstein one or a Herman Munster one, if you like. Okay, so now Keon has no idea what she's talking about. I'm going to, on the break, I'm going to go downstairs and try to find the candle she made for me. She basically, it's not a real pumpkin. It's a fake pumpkin, which she carves. And then when you put the candle in it and it lights up, it's amazing. I mean, at first you look at it, it's like, oh, that's nice. But when the candle is on inside, the shadow and the way stuff works, Fed Fan is an artiste.
Okay, that sounds cool. Yeah.
My answer that you should be giving is yes.
Yes, absolutely.
What
Just
you
the
like?
description sounds really good.
Old school Frankenstein or Herman Munster?
I'm old school Frankenstein.
See, I would have done Herman Munster personally, but you can. All right, we're going to take a break. We come back. We'll get caught up on that text line and continue talking about Cardinals, but also every other game that happened this weekend. Let's try to get it done. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Everybody, Mark Asher, about to tell you about my friends at Valley Medical Weight Loss. I love this company. I've used them. I have friends that have used them. A ton of weight has been lost in a quick amount of time and the right way. That's the important part. Look, they have 3 Valley locations, Tempe, Glendale, and Phoenix. So one is close to you, and they've been doing this for well over a decade. And right now you can get your first week, $31.95, absolutely free. Just mention Money Radio or mention The Fanatic, and it is on them. 602-441-3305 or valleymedicalweightloss.com.
Last summer, Arizona experienced record heat. Hottest summer in Arizona history. 145 days of 100-plus degrees, 53 days of over 110. Summer heat is starting sooner and it's lasting longer, and your power bills are more expensive every year. Take control of your power bills. Call Harmon Solar today. Harmon Solar is locally owned and operated. They use top-of-the-line equipment, and they're A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau. Call Harmon Solar, 800-281-3189, or go to harmonsolar.com.
Nobody protects you from mayhem in Phoenix like Allstate. I'm a broken traffic light. Stop and go is the name of my game. It's easy. You go, they go. Or was it they go, you go? And if you have the wrong car insurance, these repair costs could stop you in your tracks. So get Allstate's new low auto rate and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Not available in every state based on coverage and limits selected. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
I'm Cisco Miranda, owner of Miranda Delivery Service. As a business owner, my job is to provide the best quality service for our customers. Affinity Technology helped us reinvent our business processes using technology to make us more efficient. I didn't know I needed technology consulting, but my ROI has been off the charts. Affinity Technology has saved us more than 80 man-hours a week and has helped me get back to what I do best, focus on my customers. Visit atechaz.com. That's atechaz.com and see how better technology processes can help your small business.
Still looking for that one special voice that makes you fall in love with podcasts? The One is out there and free on Spotify. With over 2 million shows and today's most talked about podcasts, Spotify is the best place to find that one special show that makes you laugh, keeps you interested, and keeps you listening for more. Whatever you're into, get way more into it with a podcast. Find the one you've been listening for right now, free on Spotify.
Being in the Army National Guard is about more than serving your country. It's about being there for your community when your neighbors need you most. The Army National Guard makes college affordable, and serving part-time can help you graduate debt-free. Do you want to stay close to friends and family? The Guard allows you to serve close to home. Serving part-time in the Army National Guard lets you have the life you want. Learn more by visiting nationalguard.com.
Sponsored by the Arizona Army National Guard, aired by the Arizona Broadcasters Association and this station.
1580, The Fanatic.
Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic. Yes, we got football tonight. We also have football Thursday night. We also have football Sunday night. We are your home for the NFL. Tonight, Bills at Titans. Thursday, Broncos at Browns. Sunday night, it's, and when this came up on the screen to remind me, I was just like, ugh. The Colts at 49ers. That's Sunday night football. And the reason I love my Colts, but I just don't want them in the prime time getting their asses kicked. I don't know. You think that the Colts can beat the 49ers, Randy?
Yes. I think every game is achievable.
This year. Yeah.
I think every game is achievable until the final horn sounds. Yes.
Yeah. And then the Saints,
I think there's always a chance.
Yeah. Saints are playing the Seahawks on Monday Night Football. So anyway, so Keon, FedFan has already sent in designs on the Frankenstein pumpkin that she's going to carve you, and she showed me the Herman Munster one too. And I think you should stick with I think you have the right idea. That first Frankenstein, it's muy scary.
Oh yeah, I mean, and he's a classic monster, which I'm a huge fan of.
Thundar Santa Barbarian says, "Nice try, Jeffrey. The Colts were playing like the Cardinals. You'd be insufferable, and we all know it." No, listen. I've been on this show where the Colts went to the playoffs and had a winning season. I was not insufferable then. I was still kind of squinting at them, going, "Okay, let's see if they can do this." I'm not I don't like to jinx my team by being Mr. Braggadocious on that. So you are incorrect, Thundar the Santa Barbarian. But he does say, "Congratulations, Randy, on a great run by the Cardinals so far." Keon, well, it could be worse. Washington football team could be playing like the Colts. Well, he says, "Wait, they are." I think the Colts have a better record now, right? Or is it the same?
Well, do you guys have 2 wins?
Yeah.
Then we're the same.
Okay, we are the same.
We're the same.
We are not the same.
Well, we're not the same because my organization is dysfunctional and imploding from the inside. So
the worst thing you say about mine is that the owner sometimes does mushrooms.
Exactly. Other than that, when you say it could be worse, it literally can't be worse. But okay.
And your head coach likes to get retread quarterbacks. I mean, that too.
Can we not? Wait, whoa. Wait,
I mean,
I
that too.
Nothing but nice things. Why do you got to bring that
you
up?
have said very nice things. I'm just trying to help. You.
Not helping. I don't want to talk about the Colts. I want to get caught up on the text line, and then we're going to start game at a time from there. Let's see here. Cold Trickle says there's tons of pregnant women in Tucson. What does that even mean? Why are you saying that?
Is that a fact of the day or something, or what?
Yeah, not sure.
Okay, well,
Jagdog says, "Jeffrey, buy in for $40 to $60 on FanDuel, Win, MGM, and DraftKings. Get all the free bet money, and then pick the site you like the most. MGM has a code, Marcus200, to get free $200 to bet with." All right, I'll think about that. I don't want to download a bunch of different apps. Just somebody tell me the best one. Jagdog says, "Randy, with the Suns signing Bridges to a 4-year, $90 million deal, do you see the rumors coming true of the Suns trade to Minnesota? Ayton, Crowder, Sirik, and a 2024 first-round pick to bring back Karl Anthony Towns."
I think anything is possible. It depends on what the Suns leadership thinks they need to get over the hump and win a championship. I'd hate to see them get rid of a young player like a DeAndre Ayton. I'd hate to see them break up the kind of chemistry that we had last year, but I also understand the thinking that you need to bring in that one straw, that one girder, that steel girder, if you will, to help support this franchise and get a championship. So I don't know how to feel about that. I'm not a proponent of paid DeAndre Ayton, the ultimate max, but I am a proponent of working with him and getting a suitable contract in place. But I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that.
Mr. Pringle says, "If the Suns need some extra scratch to pay no DeAndre, why don't they just give you Arizona a call?" He also says, "So the Arizona Cardinals trying to buy a championship, right? Okay, you can't do that in the NFL. There is a cap.
And it's a hard cap. There's no luxury tax or anything like that.
So whatever, Pringle. Good Cat says, "Gentlemen, what's happening?"
Top of the day to you.
Hey,
stuff.
Yeah, football talk.
Things. Berg says, "Afternoon, guys. You have an echo on the app." There's an echo on the app? I don't know. Is there still? Let me know. He says, "There's also a bet on the Berg in the Premier League. Solid lock." Who bet on the? What are you talking about?
What?
He says the only thing the Cardinals have done this far is guaranteed at worst a 6-11 regular season.
Well,
I don't
that's
understand what Berg is saying right now.
If you're saying
he's saying that the Cardinals, although they're 6-0 and that's impressive and everything, the only thing they have accomplished this year is a guaranteed 6-11 season, and he's exactly right.
But keep in mind, he's also a Patriots fan, so he's going to be a little bitter right about now.
Yeah, but I don't think he's throwing shade at him, and I'm more of that kind of a guy anyway. Great, they're 6-0, great, and I don't care what anybody says. They should be really 5-1 if you ask me. But the bottom line is the only thing they've guaranteed is 6-0 or a 6-11 season. It's always what's the next game hold for them? Can they go 7-0, or are they going to lose to Houston?
Eventually, they're going to lose a game, and that game may not make sense. And people are going to go, see, here you go. But that will not be fair. So, the overreaction should never go either way. The Jet says, good Monday, gentlemen. Easy on Cliff Kingsbury. The team absolutely loves him. Did you see/hear the reaction from the team when they put him on FaceTime after the game in the locker room? Okay, well, listen, they may love him fine, but that doesn't mean he is relevant. The Berg says, Hail Mary. Full of grace, Mars Bars 805 says, happy Monday, guys. Jeffrey, how about them Raiders? You should have gone with them this weekend. 805, please. And watch out with the DPS on the I-10 West and 35th Avenue exit. Well, Mars Bars, I did go with them this weekend. I only changed one of them as we went into the weekend, and that was based on just some stuff I was reading about Denver. So I'll tell you what, right now, as it stands, I only have 10 right. Keon, Randy, you both have 11 right. So does Radio Ron. I think Big Steve in that mix too. So I told you, remember Friday when I said the reason I brag about this is because eventually I will not be at the top of that list, Randy. Guess what? I am not at the top of that list right now. So,
well, we got one more game to play. One more game to play.
I did switch lanes, and I did go with at least the Raiders this weekend. Bob Schwersky says, hey, good afternoon there, Blender Buds. Yeah, just checking in with you to let you know that I still own Shailene Woodley all my life. Okay. Really don't understand what that means. I mean, I understand what that means,
but I just don't understand how that's possible. But okay.
Yeah. Or why you'd want to. Heavy Metal Maniac says, I had my best week ever on the Fan Pick'em. I only have 2 losses. Not saying I'm going to win this week, but nice to see that I've improved. Absolutely, Heavy Metal Maniacs. It'll be interesting to see where this turns out with all the tiebreakers. There's 3 people at the top of the heap right now in the NFL Fan Pick'em. So if they all pick the same way and they all win, then there's those tiebreakers. That's what determines who's going to end up getting that NFL jersey. Mr. Pringle says, isn't the AFC South the worst division in the NFL? Yeah, I'd say so.
Have you met the NFC East? Or do you just, I mean, I guess you don't watch them. That's fair. I understand that.
The Dallas Cowboys have sort of elevated that division a bit, haven't they?
Cowboys look pretty damn good.
The Cowboys look damn good. But everybody else in that division still exists.
But the AFC South doesn't have a Cowboys. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but the Titans are not like the Titans aren't awful.
They're not that good. They're not that bad, but they're not that good. I don't think what Pringle is saying, I have to at this moment, I kind of agree with. Berg says no shade towards the Cardinals at all. Many of these texts were earlier in the show, so they're not relevant now. All's good. Thank you, Berg. Good Cat says, pineapple, Jeffrey, pineapple. Is it on me? Am I breaking up, Keon?
Yes.
Oh, I was sitting here because I could hear Randy's breaking up, but I didn't know I was.
Sorry, Randy. I didn't. A back and forth with you both.
It's all good, partner. It's all good.
I did not mean to blame your horrible internet. Now I have to blame my horrible internet. And what you know it, we all have Cox Communications. I hate it. Scratch Me Because says, what's with all the overtime games and missed kicks so far? Yeah, there was, what did I read? 23 overtime games already this season. And I don't got to tell you about all those kicks. I imagine you could figure, here's my thought processes on both. First, the overtime games. I think that some of these coaches are so scared they're not playing as aggressive as they may have in the past to try to just win the game. Because what happens when you try to play aggressive to win? Sometimes you lose. And then there is no overtime. And so that's what I think is happening. It's the way the games are being called that's causing all the overtime. The other part with the missed kicks, I don't know. It's just a thing, I guess. I mean, I don't think there's any rhyme or reason to it.
I don't think so either, but the extra points is always going to be due to the fact that we've backed that up.
Sure.
So it's not purpose. It's not the gimme that it used to be.
Right. Yeah. Good question. I don't know. Does anybody listen? I still don't consider kickers football players, so I have no idea what goes through their heads. I don't know why. Blissful Hayes says, if Kyler goes on to win the season MVP and Super Bowl MVP, will Hollywood make a documentary about his growth, or will that just be a mini series?
Mm-hmm.
Well, football life is just one show. Thundar San Barbarian says, hold on, everything's moving on my screen here. I'll have to come back around to you there, buddy. Just the Tip says, Berg is a great inspiration to all. Not sure the genesis of his mustard hatred, but I feel terrible that he's afflicted with the Boston sports team fan thing. So when he babbles, I always let it slide.
Yeah.
Well, I thought maybe you were going to go that part where he's had brain cancer a few times and he's.
Yeah, I thought he was going to go that way too.
But
yeah, no.
I got to agree. That mustard thing is probably the worst part of his life. Mars Bars 805. I agree. Boomer Sooner says, how about them Sooners? They look pretty good this weekend. Got Kansas coming up. Don't want to say should be an easy win, but
it's Kansas.
It is Kansas.
Hey, Randy.
Spencer
Houston.
Spencer Rattler. On the bench this past weekend. That was interesting, wasn't it?
Yeah, and Caleb Williams getting the start. He's the real deal. It looks like.
Played well, didn't he?
He's out there. He's a good fit for that offense.
For the Cardinals, it is Houston.
You're right.
All right. So listen up, everybody. We have got to take us a break. When we returns, what is going to happen? Every single damn game, starting with that horrible Jaguars game, all the way through to that horrible Sunday night football game. I just didn't even care about my pick at the end of that. I just wanted it to end. For the love of God, make it end. That was a bad game. We got them all for you, good and bad. We come back. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Mortgage interest rates remain near historic lows. So whether you're wanting to lower your interest rate, take cash out to remodel your home, or pay off credit card or installment debt, now is the perfect time to refinance or purchase a home. Call David White at 480-244-6625. 480-244-6625 to review your mortgage options and to take advantage of David's 32 years of industry experience, incredible customer service, and competitive interest rates. We shop the market for the best interest rates so you don't have to. So call David at 480-244-6625. That's 480-244-6625. Call David now to discuss your mortgage options and before interest rates go up at 480-244-6625. That's 480-244-6625. Don't wait. Call today and take advantage of the low rates. David White, NMLS 322907 of AmeriFirst Financial Inc. NMLS 145368, an equal housing opportunity lender.
If you're considering refinancing or getting a home loan, listen up. This is Dale Hellestray, and when you need a mortgage, the team I use is led by my good friend, Jeff Locks. And here's why. Jeff and his team negotiate with over 50 lenders to find the best possible deal. Your home has gone way up in value over the past year, so why not utilize your home equity to reduce your monthly expenses or even pay off some debts? Interest rates are still at all-time lows, and if you obtained your current mortgage prior to 2020, you can save a lot of money. Here's the best part. There's absolutely no lender fees. Jeff is truly Arizona's low-cost lender with over 30 years of experience. So call Jeff Locks, and if Jeff can't save you money, you'll get a free $50 Amazon gift card. This is a winning play, so call Jeff today, 480-202-0692. That's 480-202-0692.
Jeff Locks, NMLS number 1003782, National Mortgage License number 181106, Bear Financial Group, AZMB-09047774, Equal Housing Opportunity.
If you're worried about your investments, you're not alone. These are challenging times, but it's not time to panic. It's time to act.
Hello, I'm Mo Ansari, founder and president of Compact Asset Management. With over 40 years of experience in the financial markets, I've seen what panic, indecision, and bad advice can do to investments. When markets are up, especially when they're down, it is important to be decisive yet balanced. That's our approach at Compact Asset Management. Call my office today at pound 250 and say, talk to Mo. We will discuss a proactive, balanced approach to your portfolio that can help safeguard your investments and keep you on track with your financial goals. Call pound 250 on your cell phone and say, talk to Mo, and let's create a strategy for your investments today. Again, from your cell phone, call pound 250 and say, talk to Mo.
Compact Asset Management is a registered investment advisor, funds custodian, Fidelity Institutional Wealth Services, member FINRA, SIPC.
Live from the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. This is KQFN Tempe.
Also transmitting on K256 Phoenix at 99.3 FM.
And K240 Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
Quiet, people, settle down.
Because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, buddy, it's 3 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. We have Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1380, as we broadcast live in the Harbin Solar Studios in Scottsdale. And I went back and I took a look at the picks that I changed on Friday. Wow, I really should not have changed that pick from the Arizona Cardinals. That one hurt me. As soon as Cliff Kingsbury had the COVID and all these other people are starting to drop, I did. I changed my pick from the Arizona Cardinals to the Cleveland Browns, and now I've got a big old red splotch right there. So, yeah, that's the only other one I changed. So, oh, well, so much for that. Yeah, Randy did warn me. He says, don't come crying to me if you end up, with a bad pick. And so I'm not going to.
Listen, you know what? It happens sometimes. You got to go with your gut, your instinct, and your instinct was telling you to go with the Browns. And I respect that.
Kyler.
I respect that.
COVID running crazy
Sure.
throughout the organization.
Sure.
And Baker Mayfield and the Browns up to that moment had seemed like they kind of had their act together. So I thought, okay, this is going to be confusion. This is going to be a mess.
Yeah.
You may see old Hundley or Colt McCoy come in the game, and whatever was going to happen, it didn't look good. And
Yeah.
so it was very impressive to see the Arizona Cardinals not just get a win, but get a dominant win over the Cleveland Browns. So I got what I had coming to me, Randy. Shouldn't have changed that pick.
Well, I feel bad for you, pal.
Oh,
I feel bad. Yeah, I do. I do, because I know how much you like to stay with the Cardinals when you can, and you have all the reason in the world to pick the Browns in that game, and yet the befuddling thing is the Cardinals ended up dominating that game. Like I said, I'm just going to enjoy it. Yep. I'm not going to be braggadocious about it. I have lived through the deserts of losing seasons and being the punchline of a joke. I'm just going to enjoy this. Enjoy it while you can. That's what I say.
Damn it. Sorry, not about you, but Hefty Lefty's watching us on YouTube, and he says, Jeffrey, the Astros just stole your signs.
Oh, boy.
Oh, no. Randy and I were working out some signals, and I didn't think about the fact we were on camera. He says, you better rethink stealing third now, Randy.
Yeah, damn it.
If you hear the bang of a trash can, you know.
I think so.
You know.
Yeah.
All right, keep an ear out. Boomer Sooner says, Jeffrey, I have that Magic 8 Ball. What to do? Well, I would consider consulting the Magic 8 Ball.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Pringle says, hey, Boomer Sooner, my two favorite college teams to watch are A, your Sooners, and B, the Cincinnati Bearcats.
How about Cincinnati this year?
Wow. They're incredible. And every time I think they're in their conference schedule now, their conference is, quite frankly, a very weak conference. There's plenty of opponents for them to overlook. They just show up and flatten people.
Yeah.
Is that going to count against them when the football, the great horde of great football minds converge on their secret room? They're high above the Hilton in San Diego.
The great horde?
Yeah, the great horde of football minds.
Horde.
When this great and wonderful godlike conference gets together to discuss who's the best team in the land, all of these soothsayers and brain trusts of college football. Do you think that's going to hurt them, that their conference sucks?
It's going to hurt them a little bit, but this was always the thing with a group of 5 school. So if you want to be a group of 5 school like Cincinnati is and have a chance to make the college football playoff, you kind of have to have like a 2-year run up to being good, which they have. They were good last year, and now they're good this year. And then you got to have some quality wins. And they gave the smackdown to Notre Dame when Notre Dame was flying pretty high. They've had some quality wins on that schedule. So if they're undefeated, they can't lose a game. That schedule is not strong enough for them to lose a game. But if they're undefeated by the time we get to the end of the season and they win their conference, I think that they might be able to slide in there.
Boomer Sooner says, bring on the Bearcats of Cincinnati. They haven't played the big boys yet. Like you guys said, and Keon and Randy, it's a weak conference.
It is. That's why winning some of those non-conference games early for them, absolutely huge. And for them, their margin of error is smaller. They have to be completely undefeated. They don't get to lose any games.
888-368-1580. Helibin Mike says, all right, Randy, let's call them the Big Red Road Records. Or from the opponent's perspective, the Big Red Home Records. Randy, stand up and take a bow for your 6-0 prediction coming to fruition.
Well,
now, even though they suck buttermilk, you think JJ and Nuke will still want to have huge games against Houston? I think so, even though I don't think either would admit it. What do you say, guys?
Oh, I 100% agree. I think JJ Watt wants to send a message, and I think Nuke absolutely wants to send a message to Houston. And this is what a real team looks like, you guys. Take note of where my talents went. And I think he probably will end up doing that. And listen, the Cardinals, I think they're the type of team that are paying attention to what's going on week to week. Like Keon said, I don't think they're going to look past this team or this game. And I think they're going to go out there, take care of business. And you know what I found interesting this past weekend, guys? And I don't know if you noticed this, but whenever you saw the Cardinals sideline, there wasn't a big dance party going on over there. There wasn't a bunch of guys cracking jokes and making wise. There wasn't a bunch of jocularity happening. Everybody was just kind of mellow, going about their business. And that, to me, that instills all sorts of confidence that this team is on a mission. Yeah.
Very focused. Yeah. That is impressive. Usually when you got a substitute teacher, it's just like, woo, but no, they took their work seriously and got it done. Well, so you're absolutely right.
That's what happens when you've got a lot of veterans on the team. You know that JJ Watt is going to take things seriously. You know that DeAndre Hopkins is going to take things seriously, and it's rubbing off in this locker room. And quite frankly, it's wonderful to see. And then you've got guys like Budda Baker. I think he was mic'd up like a couple of weeks ago. That guy's dialed in the entire game.
Yeah.
And also, he hits so hard. You can hear it. I don't want Budda Baker to ever tackle me. That sounds terrible.
You rethink your entire life.
How about AJ Green this weekend? Good for him. How about AJ Green, who was sequestered away on the Cincinnati Bengals for so many years, and now he's got an opportunity to be on a team that is actually a contender.
Right. Yeah, and AJ Green is what Kyler Murray has needed, a big, tall, wide receiver who can compete for a fitty ball and bring that crap down. A lot of the times, again, don't get all upset, but the receivers being the same height as the quarterback has been a recipe for disaster. And when Carson Palmer was throwing to short guys like, John Brown and some other people, and like, you're surprised there was an interception? You just threw to the shortest person you've ever seen as a wide receiver, and you think he's not going to get owned in a long ball? Come on, man. So now you got AJ Green out there going in for a touchdown and wrestling it down out of the sky over the top of somebody. That is exactly what Kyler Murray has needed. If you can't have a tall quarterback, get your ass some tall receivers. Okay. Listen, respect a little more. That guy, what's his name? Rondell Moore?
Rondell Moore. Yeah.
Right. Respect to him, but that is not what is going to get it done. Guys the height of AJ Green and DeAndre Hopkins and Zach Ertz, those are the guys who are going to get it done, because there's not just one person going for the ball that you're throwing. There's two, sometimes three.
Yeah, I think that I heard a scout say one time, you got to build your wide receiving core like a basketball team. That you do need a big guy that can go up there and just box people out and go get the ball. For goodness sakes, it made Andy Dalton's entire career. Andy Dalton is an incredibly smart man because he knew, I'll just keep throwing the ball to AJ Green and everything was going to work out. And Kyler, whenever he doesn't have somewhere to go with the ball, or if he just needs somebody to go up and get the ball in the end zone, you can just throw it up to AJ. He's coming down with it.
Right, or the tight ends, which he had with Max Williams till he got all hurt and stuff. So I'm really looking forward to seeing Zach Ertz in a Cardinals uniform just to see, okay, this is those prove it to us moments. All right, prove to us you're still an elite tight end. You got an elite quarterback throwing to you. Time to go to work. 888-368-1580. Just Tip says, are you guys broadcasting from Oahu? Because pineapples all over the place. Hasn't it cleared up at all yet?
Not really.
So
It's been like it did for a little bit, but it's coming back.
So who's worse, me or Randy?
I'll say Randy right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was trying to figure out maybe one of us jumps off and does a thing, and then I'll take a turn and I'll jump off and do a thing, because I figure I can just restart everything I have, including my internet, trying to get it going there. So what do you think, Randy? I think Randy's already done.
I think Randy's already started. You know what, Randy? Not even going to wait. He's just like, you know what? Let's just go ahead and handle it.
Yeah, he just did it. I wasn't telling him what to do. Fubar 1000 says, "Hiya, Blender dudes, Jeffrey. So Jeffrey, how bad did you suck this week at fantasy football?" Herbert killed me. Herbert got 15 points where he usually gets 35, but it's not over yet. I still have a shot at winning. Somebody was posting on the Twitter. I think the Berg was posting up bragging about his score and drug me under the bus, because you can see my score is like 86 to Keon's 120 or whatever,
something like that. Yeah.
So it made me look bad, but it's not over yet. Fubar. Mr. Pringle says, the fact that Ohio State, who eats at the table of the most overrated conference in the country, the Big Ten, still gets in, makes the entire NCAA football scene look like a Joe Biden production.
I wouldn't say that the Big Ten is the most overrated conference. They've got Penn State, they've got Michigan State now. Michigan looks really good this year. The thing that embarrassed the committee with Ohio State was Ohio State did not win their conference and still somehow got into the playoff that one year. That was embarrassing.
And by the way, I don't know who this Brandon fella is, but evidently people want him to go. Or go somewhere. I'm not sure what it's all about. Good Cat says, we all know that the college football committee will pick a 1 or 2 loss Alabama team over an undefeated Cincinnati team. It's an attitude which we call bias.
It is a bias. They'll take a 1-loss Alabama. They're not going to take a 2, because that means Alabama didn't win the conference.
Good Cat also says, since the cheater Astros have stolen your signs, can we plunk Jose Altuve? Absolutely. Plunk away. I think it's only right. Plunk. Start plunking now. Don't stop plunking until it's over. Let's see. Happy Lefty says, the thing they have going for them is they're ranked 2 right now. UCF never got ranked high enough to make a big enough stink about being left out when it came the time for the playoffs. If the Bearcats win out, the committee has zero legitimate reason to leave them out this year.
I agree. And the reason why UCF never got ranked high enough is because they didn't have that dominant year the year before. Cincinnati did have that. They started coming on last year. And so now with that information and the run up to this year and how good they've been, if they're undefeated at the end, I find it hard to believe that the committee would leave them out.
Oaktown Destroyer says, got to hand it to the Raiders for not only showing up, but really dominating that game. I'm liking Goldberg as our coach. All right. Well, hold on. I don't believe that's his name, but I understand why you're calling him that, because he looks like the wrestler. Is that what that's about? The other part is with the Vegas. It was Denver. Let's not get crazy. Okay. Let's not get crazy. You beat Denver, but still good to see a win for those guys after what they've been through the last couple of weeks. Mr. Wilbur says, can you please clarify Rodney Hudson's injury? They mentioned injured reserve. So is that for 8 games or how many games? Okay. Keon is taking a look at that right now. I'll have an answer for you in a second, but generally injured reserve is 3 games, but whatever the nature of his injury is, we'll get right back to you. Helaman Mike says, so Mr. Whipple went from squeezing Sharman to calling plays, did he? Senior Wake and Bake says, what's good, fellas? Jeffrey, your Colts are 2-3, just like my Niners. Only difference is the Niners are still playoff bound. Ramsey, Cards are 6-0. Good job. The wins mean you might make the playoffs. Go Niners. Can you believe that?
That is a level of optimism.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's 6-0. Like Berg said, we the only thing we've accomplished so far is a 6-11 season. We don't know anything from here on out. We just got to keep going. Every week, you got to show up and do your job.
Justin Tips is spot on, Randy. This team is well led from veteran players as well as coaches. I love that a few of the Cardinals players top the league in any stat, but every single player has a shitload of stats. I bet Ertz has the same thing. He won't lead the league, but he's going to have some great numbers.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think a guy that's as talented as Zach Ertz is going to bring a whole new dynamic to an already dangerous receiving core. So I would look to I'd look for Kingsbury to get him involved early and often.
And Rodney Hudson, that IR is a 3-week IR. So that is presumably how long he'll be out. And then they can reevaluate after that to see if they can extend that or if they're going to keep him there.
Robert in Surprise says, wow, turns out Raiders can play better without a head coach as well. It's a good thing old Phil left for XM Radio, huh? Scratch Me Because says, did Urban Meyer stay in London to get a lap dance in an English pub?
Never know.
More than likely, yes. Robert in Surprise, thank you for that. Thundar says, my Broncos aren't great this year, but our record's 3-3. How are the Colts doing right now? Not good. Lost Toby says, if the Cardinals lose the Super Bowl, will Phoenix be the city with the most championship losses in a single year?
Perhaps.
Well, that would put us at 3, right? Or unless, did the Phoenix Rising lose a championship or something?
Not yet.
I'd say 3 because that would be the Suns, that would be the Mercury, and then it'll be the Cardinals.
Yes.
Not something we're looking forward to, Lost Toby.
Thanks, Lost Toby.
Yeah,
thank you.
hell, man.
Hope you have a wonderful Monday as well.
I see what Lost Toby's trying to do, though. Maybe it's the anti-jinx.
I don't know. I think he's the anti-Phoenix.
Hey, Lost Toby, I hope the bird of paradise flies up your nose. Have a great day.
I hope one craps in your head. Moist One says, hold on, Berg. I might outscore you this week. They had a lot of bragging going on in the Premier League. Listen, don't brag till the season's over, okay? Fed Fan says, has the naysayers watched any of the Cardinal games? These people they're legit
naysayers.
Guys. Yeah, they I don't know, people who are just
the haters.
People, are anti-Cardinals but have never watched a snap. Those people do exist.
It's easy to hate on the Cardinals. It's easy to poke fun at the Cardinals. You just go ahead and keep doing that. In national media, you go ahead and keep ignoring. Don't rank us up there in the power rankings. Don't give us any credibility. Don't give us any love. We don't want your crap. We'll just continue to let our play do the talking.
Hefty Lefty says, that Niners fan's getting close to skull level of delusional. I respect that. Bruno Baller says, I guess you have to include the Rattlers. Oh, that's right. Another local team that lost in the championship. Mr. Pringle says, hey, Randy, switch from Dish Network to DirecTV. DirecTV gave me free NFL Sunday ticket for a season. In doing so, Arizona Cardinals are must-see TV.
Yeah, well, and by the way, DirecTV, that was a problem with my Cox internet out here. I won't go into all the details, but the repairman was out here on Saturday.
Oh, no.
And I have a gigantic horror story I need to share with my pal Jeffco because I know he's got the DirecTV. Mm-hmm. So, my internet much faster now, much more stable, much better.
Huh, you can tell. Boomer Sooner says, you guys remember the play, not from this week with Cleveland, but last week, Tyler runs left or all of a sudden takes off and pulls up before he goes across the line of scrimmage, throws it Hopkins in the back corner of the end zone. What is a defense to do?
Nothing.
Not a whole lot you can do.
That is indefensible.
There's just on there. Yeah.
What do you do? There's what do you when you coach defensive players to go after a quarterback and you see the scramble drill starting, most defenses are supposed to commit to that quarterback when they see him coming up. A guy who can stop on a dime and throw the ball over your entire defense, that's indefensible.
Yep. Donnie says, hey guys, I'm a naysayer. I'm the king of naysayers. Looks like Phoenix will have to wait on that parade since old Mercury choked, huh, buddy? Donnie is the bitterest of bitters. You are bitter, Donnie. I might actually throw that in. You wanted me to, what I was going to say, bitter from Twitter or Twitter bitter Twitter, whatever his name is. He's just bitter everywhere. Oaktown Destroyer says, okay, guys, how do you get into your fantasy pick'ems? I'd like to join. Dude, go to 1580thefanatic.com. Now, you're too late to win the big prize of $1,580 or the second place prize of $500 from Harman Solar. But every week, the weekly winner wins an NFL jersey of their choice. Any player, any era, home or away, whatever you want, whatever size you want, you get yourself an authentic NFL jersey. So that is worth jumping in now and just trying to win the weekly prize. Go for it, Oaktown Destroyer. What do you got to lose? Go to 1580thefanatic.com. It's right there on top where it says Harman Solar. Click on that. It'll show you where to go, give you a little code to get in. Get your butt over there and show us what you got. All right.
I signed up for the first time this year. It's very easy.
Yeah, super duper easy. And they even remind you when it's time to do the picks. So, all right, everybody, come on back. Let's start talking about the actual games. Now we only have an hour and 10 minutes. I'm feeling a little bit freaked out about how stressful it is to get this all done. It's a daily. Yes, Moist One, even an Aaron Hernandez jersey. It's a daily blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Rich Eisen from Monday Night Football on Westwood One, here with a preview of a great matchup between two AFC division leaders. From Nashville, Derrick Henry and the Titans take on Josh Allen and the 4-1 Bills. Buffalo's coming off an impressive win over the Chiefs last week, but Allen reminds us that was just week 5.
4 wins doesn't get you into the playoffs. We came into a hostile environment, played a really good team, ended up with a win, and that's our goal each and every week. There's still a whole lot of football left in this season, and we got to continue to stack wins.
Now the Bills face the Titans, who ran over the Jaguars last week and sit atop the AFC South at 3-2. Kevin Kugler and Ron Jaworski will have the call from Music City when the Titans host the Bills on Monday Night Football.
Remember to listen to Westwood One's exclusive coverage of the NFL all season long, right here on 1580 The Fanatic, Arizona's new home for sports.
For the ones who are always in the know.
Delivery confirmed.
For the ones who keep things running. For the innovators and the problem solvers. Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, experienced staff at local branches, and free access to experts to help answer your toughest questions. So whatever challenge you face, we have the knowledge and products to help. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? So your headlights are getting dim? With the seasons changing, now's a great time to change them. Upgrading your headlights can ensure you'll be safe and ready to handle darkness and fog. Oh, and we recommend replacing in pairs. That way you won't have uneven lighting over time. You can get all of your lighting needs fast with our next day delivery and free same-day store pickup. Getting the job done just got easy.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions and details at AutoZone.com.
Last summer, Arizona experienced record heat. Hottest summer in Arizona history. 145 days of 100-plus degrees, 53 days of over 110. Summer heat is starting sooner and it's lasting longer, and your power bills are more expensive every year. Take control of your power bills. Call Harmon Solar today. Harmon Solar is locally owned and operated. They use top-of-the-line equipment, and they're A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau. Call Harmon Solar, 800-281-3189, or go to harmonsolar.com.
Providing you with the latest sports news, commentary, and analysis.
So I am holding out, much to the chagrin of my dad. Don't be greedy. My agent said, so here's the deal. We're all right with the signing bonus. We'll get a little more there. But what we're fighting for is the third year and $20,000 on the third year.
What did your father say?
When it was all said and done, good job.
Jacobs and Helly on Arizona's new home for sports. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
It's a Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic, Arizona sports betting station. Now, the race setup with Randy White is coming up on Friday, and right after that, you got some high school football. That's right. The AIA presents the game of the week. Sandra Day O'Connor, she's going to be out there taking on Boulder Creek.
No, not Sandra Day. Justice O'Connor.
She's a running quarterback.
No, Justice O'Connor will not be out there.
Well, I don't. Well, they're not going to win.
First of all, Jeffrey, player. Justice O'Connor is no longer with us here.
No, but she's with Sandra Day O'Connor School. So
no, it's a school named after Justice O'Connor. It's not the actual Sandra Day O'Connor.
I would like to know what the mascot is for Sandra Day O'Connor High School.
I believe it's the Eagles.
Oh, I was going to go with a gavel or comfortable shoes. I'm not sure which, but I figured,
why does this always happen to me? Why?
What do you mean?
Why? I feel like I have to carry you along here and help you out with some of these things. You get confused.
Well, Sandra Day O'Connor High School, I mean, how do you get Hawks for that?
Is it Hawks or Eagles
or whatever it is? I don't know. Look it up.
I don't know.
I'm not supposed to know. Does anybody know what the mascot is for Sandra Day O'Connor? Because, golly, it could be anything. Big George says, hey, gentlemen, happy Monday. Shocked that the Arizona Cardinals are still not number one in the power rankings. The Bills still number one, and they have a loss. How is this possible?
Wait for this week because the damn Cowboys are going to go to number one. Watch.
The Cowboys.
They put the Cowboys.
The Cowboys.
No,
they're going to go to number one in the power rankings. Watch. I'll bet you guys lunch. I will buy you lunch if when they come out with the power rankings, the Cowboys are not number one.
Also, deal.
I will buy you lunch.
Okay. Here's the thing. We have to stop looking at the ESPN. We have to stop looking at their power rankings. Doesn't the NFL have their own? Does CBS Sports have their own? Why does everybody bow down to whatever the hell it is the ESPN says when they seem to know very little?
I don't think that's the case. I think it's the NFL power rankings.
And that makes no sense at all. And maybe some of the things that John Gruden said about Roger Goodell are true.
Well, the CBS.
I don't know. I honestly haven't read all of it, so I don't know. I probably said that.
Well, there's he used an F word that you're not supposed to use.
No. I was
so maybe not that, but the CBS Sports
at most. I don't think. Yeah.
Current or
the current CBS Sports power rankings do have the Cardinals in the top spot.
There you go. See, don't look at ESPN. Go to CBSSports.com.
I'm telling you, when they come out Monday or tomorrow, after tonight's game, Cowboys 1, Bills 2, Cardinals 3. And that's the only time I can remember.
Unless you lose, that should
an
not
undefeated team would be number 3 in the damn power rankings. I will buy you both Barrow's Pizza if that is not the case.
Deal. Oaktown Destroyer says, hey guys, how do you I already read that one. Yeah, just go to 1580thefanatic.com. All right. Lost Toby says, I don't think they lose the Super Bowl. They won't even get that far. Haterade. Blissful Hayes says, what kind of problem did Randy have with his cocks? Really just there's two coaxes intermingling. Somebody was crossing the streams, and you're never supposed to cross the streams.
Never cross the stream.
Yeah.
And sword fighting, I don't care. I don't like it.
No sword fight. Yeah, don't do that.
No.
Let's see. Scratch Me Because says, all right, which Watt is better in his prime? In his prime, JJ, TJ, or Derek? And never mind about Derek.
Well, obviously, never mind about Derek. In his prime, the answer has to be JJ.
Yeah,
JJ was not blockable in his prime.
Yeah,
I would agree. I would agree with that.
Robert in Surprise says, looks like if the Bills win tonight, I will have 12 wins this week. Not sure if that's going to be enough to win. Well, there's already some people with 12 wins, so they have to have picked the wrong way, and you are the right way. Then at least you have a chance at a tiebreaker. So good luck to you, buddy. Let's see. Bob Shrursky says, yeah, I sure wish my team's coach was quarantined or caught with the inappropriate emails or something. Yeah, I'm sure you do. Just the Tip says, Moist One's Aaron Hernandez text and Jeffrey getting it on air just before the break is a microcosm of why the blender rules. Brains, power, speed. Okay. Or bad decisions.
Questionable judgment.
King of Kitten says, Randy is right. It is the Sandra Day O'Connor Eagles.
Yeah. I know that because
of course it is.
Few of my kids went there.
There's just no alliteration to it. Okay.
Yeah. What do you mean? Yeah. Sandra Day O'Connor, great American, eagle, the American iconic bird.
No, it makes sense when you look at it from that standpoint, but usually
justice and truth, the American way. Sandra Day O'Connor. The justice who brought together, the great gaps in the justice things in our nation. She bridged the gap. Great American Sandra Day O'Connor, who went in there and fixed and healed our land. Healed our land, I tell you. And she wore comfortable shoes. Yep. And not only that, she's a great American.
I haven't looked at her voting record, so I couldn't tell you one way or the other.
I don't think that's
the
fact that
high
she
school
votes.
after.
I think is
yeah.
I
don't know. Mr. Pringle says the ESPN power rankings are created for one reason. It's a 24-hour news cycle. Senior Wake and Bake thinks that the mascot might have been the Sandra Day adult diapers. No, it turns out that is not correct. Fundar Santa Barbarian says, I won't take that bet, Randy, but it's BS. The Bills, maybe, but no way the Cowpokies should be ahead of the Cardinals.
Oh, my God.
Not the Bills either.
After last night's game, please. Child, please.
Because the Bills are about to play another team with a bad secondary. They have had the most fortunate run of teams with no back end to their defense that I've ever seen.
And where have the Bills been in the power rankings?
Well,
number one.
And according to Espen, I'm rolling with CBS Sports.
Number one.
Randy, let's start. Let's just start a new thing here. CBSSports.com. Look at theirs. Don't look at Espen's. And there you go.
I'm gonna look at NFL.com.
All right, look at.
I want to see their damn power rankings.
Right. Yeah, go look that up.
I don't care about these news sources.
We only have an hour now. We haven't even talked about the first game. I wanted to talk about every single game in this show, and we've just gone an hour and a half getting ready for it. Because we are bad at things. So
I don't know what you're waiting on. Let's go.
All right. So the London game this week was Jaguars and Dolphins, and much to my surprise, the Dolphins couldn't get it done against the Jaguars. Although I should have known better because that's the home team in London was the Jaguars. It was ugly. It was horrible. And now they're both 1-5. I don't know if there's anything else that needs to be talked about on that. I felt so bad for Fish Tank. I know he probably lost his mind because, that was no bueno.
I understand what Brian Flores is trying to do, being aggressive and leaning into the analytics. He went for it on fourth down a few times.
Well, he even said, I'm not a good coach. He says, I'm not doing a good job right now.
And that's just the guy being accountable and not throwing the team under the bus, even though they had some terrible moments too, the individual players on that team. But that's the head coach being accountable to himself. But just the fact of the matter is he was too aggressive when he shouldn't have been. And then he was not aggressive enough. There was a fourth down. He should have gone for it late, and he doesn't go for it, punts the ball away to Trevor Lawrence, and they never see the ball again.
Oh, and Tua was not playing well. I mean, I don't know if you saw that interception, but it's one of those things you're like, what?
The interception was horrible. He crow hopped into a really bad throw. I don't know how that's even possible. I thought outside of that interception, I thought Tua actually did play pretty well. But the fact is, like, the defense was supposed to be one of the best features of this team, and the Jaguars were doing whatever they wanted. Outside of like one bad Trevor Lawrence fumble, they were doing pretty much whatever they wanted.
Yeah, it was not I didn't wake up all the way early, but I did wake up early enough to see what I saw. And 23-20, and you win it on a last second field goal. And everybody's celebrating like they won a damn Super Bowl.
Well, I can understand the players celebrating that way because just some relief, like, dear God, we finally won a game. Irvin shouldn't have been celebrating anything.
No.
This is your fault. He had his arms up in the air. What do you want? You carry you off like Rudy? Like, stop. Yeah. You are half the reason why this team is a joke.
Yeah. The Jaguars were a joke before he got there. The Jaguars continue to be a joke even now. And you're right. He should not have been celebrating. The Jaguars should not have been celebrating. You want to celebrate, do that in the locker room where nobody can see you. You know, this one game in another country against a team that's doing horribly already, that is not something to be proud of. If anything, you got lucky because Tua and company might have been jet lagged. That's it. Moving on. My big surprise of the weekend wasn't how bad. By the way, a lot of lopsided scores, but the Chargers got ass kicked by the Ravens 34-6. I picked the Chargers to win. That's another bad pick for me. But I could have gone either way. And when I was making the pick, I was thinking, well, no matter what happens, I'm going to go with the Chargers. But no matter what happens, Herbert will have a good game, right? No, he won't. He got me 15 points, under 15 points in fantasy football. Could be why I have a demise this week. But the Ravens, they had them a game, didn't they?
Yeah, 22 of 39, 195 yards for Justin Herbert. That's unlike him ever since he's come into the league. Yeah, it was crazy. They just looked really flat, didn't they?
Yeah, Lamar didn't look good as a quarterback, but he still held his own as a running back.
I thought he looked really good as a quarterback. Did you see some of those throws he was making?
Yeah, he was 19 of 27 and only had 167 yards. Some of those throws were as shaky as Don Knott's hands holding the gun.
Well, he's never had like a tight spiral. That's just not him. But the ball gets to the receiver, and with enough time for them to make plays, he's fitting it into tight windows sometimes. The way he throws the football complements his running game. And so like he gives those receivers a lot of room. Mark Andrews is just dominant. I mean, he finds ways to get open in that second level. And there are some things that the Chargers do very well defensively, and the Ravens just exposed all of them.
I'll tell you what, though, this is not, I mean, they're 5-1, the Ravens are, but if you want to question if a team is a legit 5-1 or 6-0, or you need to be a little more, speculative about the Ravens. There needs to be a little more of a squinted eye approach. Like, what do you really have with these Ravens?
I don't know. I picked the Chargers too.
Yeah. So that happened, and now Ravens looking good. Chargers, okay, not that bad, but not that great. 4-2, and the Ravens are now 5-1. By the way, Lamar Jackson has now the most wins of any quarterback before his 25th birthday. And I got news for you. He doesn't turn 25 until January 7th, which means he can pile on more wins and make that record even more impressive and hard to break by the next guy.
And the previous record held by Dan Marino, it's possible Lamar could just obliterate that record.
I'm thinking so. Even if a bad season, he can still obliterate. Vikings, that's right. All those annoying Vikings fans are all crowing and feeling happy and dancing a little dance because now they're a 500 team.
Congratulations.
Wow. Boy, if only your record was as good as your smack talk. And props, though. You beat the Panthers. The Panthers defense did play well. That's the way these things go sometimes. What was the score of that game? 34-28, and it took another overtime game to do it. But the Panthers defense was still, they got in fantasy football the same score as the Arizona Cardinals. They both got 13 points in fantasy football. So that was a hard fought game. And all right, congratulations, you're a 500 team.
And I mean, I've got to ask the question, and maybe you guys can answer it for me. But what happened to Carolina? They started out good. They have 3-0, and they've gone 0-3 since then. What's happened with Carolina?
No Christian McCaffrey. Part of it. And Sam Darnold without Christian McCaffrey turns back into a pumpkin. He is just he had an egregious first half of that.
I thought the Panther defense was
in 3 games. Darnold has turned the ball over 7 times without Christian McCaffrey there.
See, I thought the Panther defense at least was a defense that would keep them in games and keep them close.
Well, that defense, like Jeffrey said, I mean, they were scoring, they were forcing turnovers, they were making plays. But at some point, if your defense can't get off the field, they're going to get scored on.
Yeah.
Lost Toby says Panthers receivers were dropping everything.
This is also true, and they're not.
Donnie,
they're good.
Donnie with all caps. Captain Kirk is leading into the playoffs, man. Easy, Donnie. You just got to 500.
just easy, Donnie.
Just give it another week. Get above the waterline.
Yeah. Watermelon says, "Let's go Raiders." Game 1 of our 2-game bet is done. Hefty Lefty. Looking forward to that second game. All right. Don't remember the bet, but good luck to you there, Watermelon. We got to take a break. When we come back, let's pick it right back up. We'll talk about the Packers and the Bears and all sorts of other games because a lot happened yesterday. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's action update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Simple Green is perfect for making your auto, RV, cycling, boating, and other sporting equipment look like new. SimpleGreen.com.
NHL hockey tonight. The Arizona Coyotes are playing host to the St. Louis Blues. The Blues are favored on the road as the Blues are minus 186 favorites. If you take the Coyotes, they pay out at plus 156. The over-under is sitting at 5.5 goals, and the spread sitting at 1.5 goals in favor of the Blues. Some of the other favorites tonight in the NHL, the Maple Leafs minus 188 favorites at home against the Rangers. The Flyers are minus 136 favorites against Seattle, and Calgary a minus 205 favorite at home against Anaheim. For the latest odds all the time, visit vsin.com. I'm Matt Pauley. This has been your action update on the Fanatic.
Does your company need bonds? Hi, this is Dave McKee, president of Constructors Bonding, inviting you to learn how our team can deliver better bonding than any competitor anywhere. Our relationships with every major surety get you the credit you need fast, and we never stop working to exceed your expectations. Call me personally at 602-432-5929. That's 602-432-5929 to learn how Constructors Bonding is your solution to better bonds.
Your favorite radio station.
And now you're up to date on the news. Stand by for weather and traffic right after this.
It wakes you up, starts your day, and keeps you informed as well as entertained.
You guys are absolutely the best.
How do you like to work here?
At The Fanatic, we're looking for commissioned sales reps to knock on doors, set up appointments, and extol the benefits of advertising with your favorite radio station. Send your resume to jobs at 1580thefanatic.com.
This is Aaron Warby, host of the Bulls and the Bears Radio Hour. In the show, we try to teach the tools, rules, and strategies that traders and investors need to do better with their wealth and portfolio income. But most of the time, an hour is just not long enough. At Online Trading Academy, we believe that the average person should be given the tools, rules, and strategies that Wall Street's elites have been using for years to outperform others. Are you one of the millions that have recently established a trading account? Or have you always wanted to trade or take a more active role in guarding and growing your own wealth, but have not had the know-how or confidence? We want to invite you out to a complimentary 3-hour power trading and investing workshop, where you'll learn what it is that the professionals use to limit their risks and maximize their possible gains in both trading and investing. To register, call 8448-TRADER. That's 844-887-2337, or text the word stocks to 25029. Again, that's stocks to 25029. Reserve your seat now.
Still looking for that one special voice that makes you fall in love with podcasts? The one is out there and free on Spotify. With over 2 million shows and today's most talked about podcasts, Spotify is the best place to find that one special show that makes you laugh, keeps you interested, and keeps you listening for more. Whatever you're into, get way more into it with a podcast. Find the one you've been listening for right now, free on Spotify.
AZ Preps 365 is your headquarters for all things high school sports in Arizona. Brett Quintine, James Mello, and Jose Garcia keep you up to speed with all the action, highlights, interviews, and insider information for the prep sports scene. You need to tune in to AZ Preps 365 every Saturday morning from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on your new home for sports, 1580 and 99.3. The Fanatic. And always on at 1580thefanatic.com. 1580 The Fanatic.
Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic, Arizona sports betting station, and Bills and Titans starts in just about an hour. The broadcast does, at least. So we have a very short time to fit all these games in and talk about them. And by God, we're going to do just that. All right. So as I said, Packers played the Bears. And of course, Packers beat the Bears. Nobody thought that was going to go any other way, right?
No, I mean, I thought the Packers, they've owned the Bears in recent seasons, and I didn't see any reason why this would be any different. I don't think the Bears.
You're incorrect. Aaron Rodgers owns the Bears. Just ask him. He made it very clear. Aaron Rodgers, he after that touchdown is like, I've owned you all my effing life. I still own you. I still own you. And he was just going off. And I guess some lady had maybe flipped him off. So he was like, yelling,
the double bird
at her.
Gave him the double bird. Yeah.
But kudos to Aaron Rodgers for solving the taunting problem. Turn around and taunt the fans. and no one can throw flags at you.
Watch, they'll figure out a way
This
to
is
make
true.
that a thing. But yes, Aaron Rodgers owns the Bears. In fact, on Wikipedia, somebody went in there and edited a thing where it says Aaron Rodgers owns the Bears.
Wow.
Officially. But all right, outside of the eventual 24-14 win for the Green Bay Packers, do we feel any better about Justin Fields' play, or is it now like, okay, he's a child in a land of men. He's either not ready or never going to be?
I think he's still learning. He's improving every single week, and he looked better this week than I thought he did last week. But he's still green, and it's obvious that there are times where he should shift his protections to stop himself from being sacked, and he doesn't do it because that's just a young quarterback mistake. And one of the things that Justin Fields didn't do well in college, and he's still not doing well in the NFL, is he holds onto the ball too long. And you hope that with some coaching, they'll get the ball out of his hands a lot quicker.
All right. So Justin Fields, the jury is still out on him. Keon seems to think maybe he'll be okay down the road, but there's a couple of different franchises that nobody seems to escape unscathed, and that is the Bengals, the Bears, and the Browns. Is there another one? Am I missing one?
The Washington.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, the Washington football team, people seem to escape there okay. You know what I mean? Because as soon as they leave, they do better. So I don't think I can't include that one.
Well, I don't know. I mean, did Robert Griffin III escape there unscathed? Did Albert Hainsworth escape unscathed after getting $100 million contract from them? There's a long list of guys. By the way, I saw Adam Archuleta on TV as a color commentator, and I remember when we paid him too much money too when I was a kid. I don't know if he got out of there unscathed, but he shouldn't have been paid anything like what he was paid. So this team, I don't know that that's necessarily true, but
we got to look up the current state of the worst NFL contracts. What was his name? Oh, Sam Bradford. I think they paid him a cool $10 million for nothing. The Arizona Cardinals did, right, Randy? Wasn't it?
Yeah,
Sam
was it
Bradford?
10 million? I thought it was
like that.
20
14?
million.
I don't know.
Yeah, I thought it was 20 million. Yeah.
Or
Sam
when he was done, when they were done with him, he had like maybe 10 or so million left on the contract.
Yeah.
I can't remember completely.
And brought him in with a bad knee and everything. Yeah, that was perfect.
Yeah. It wasn't like he was trying to hide that or nothing. So there you go. The Packers now have a 2-game lead in the NFC North, if it matters to you right now. Here's the thing. I don't know that it needs to matter, Randy and Keon. I don't know if it needs to matter where people are in standings. We have still 12 more games.
I mean,
we've got a lot of football to play. Anything can happen at this point.
There is
12 more weeks.
Plenty of football to be played, but there are some people who are separating themselves from others. So it matters a little.
Well, the ones that are, then you're like, wow, look at the Cardinals go. They're undefeated. But everybody else, it just, doesn't, I wouldn't get too wrapped up in, woo, we are 1-4, but look at how well we look in the standings. Shut up. It doesn't matter yet. It doesn't matter. You know who matters right now? Tampa Bay matters. Cardinals matter. Chargers and the Ravens matter. Buffalo matters. Dallas matters. Not a whole lot of other teams matter right now. Green Bay matters. The rest of your teams don't matter yet. And I'm not saying they don't matter to you. And I'm not saying they don't matter at all. I'm saying as far as where you are in a standing, doesn't matter. And even if you matter now, even if you're one of the teams I said matters, a couple of weeks from now, they may not. A couple of weeks from now, somebody else may matter. So it's just too early for this standings thing people like to get all happy about. Bruno Baller says the top 5 teams in the NFC right now are playing very well. One of those would probably represent the conference in the Super Bowl. Which, I would hope so, because, the worst one won't. I mean,
if it somehow turns out to be a team that's the worst one now, then that's just a wild football season that I'll have to see to believe.
Can I just say that I think the games this weekend kind of sucked? Did
most of them were bad.
Any good games this weekend? The lopsidedness, or the overtime, and just I don't think I saw a good game. I mean, I enjoyed watching the Cardinals because there was stuff to see there. But as far as good game,
I thought the Dallas New England game was a good game. I thought that was an exciting, fun game to watch. There was a lot of back and forth. There was a lot of drama. There
Sure.
was scoring. There was defense. I thought that was a good game, but the rest of them, yeah, it was kind of a blah weekend.
I think the Miami Jacksonville follows your rule of when two crappy teams get together. It's actually a pretty decent game.
Yeah, but Kevin Harlan makes anything sound interesting, though.
This is true. But outside of those two games, a lot of bad football.
Boomer Sooner says, guys, the worst contract ever dealt out to professional athlete is New York Mets. Oh, I know the Bobby Bonilla thing, but I was talking football, buddy. I appreciate that, though. Blissful Hayes says, as a Bears fan, I wish Aaron Rodgers owned the Bears. That'd be nice, actually. The Bears' current owner doesn't care about winning. Aaron Rodgers cares about winning. So, yeah, bias. Miss Pringle says, Aaron Rodgers McCloskey. Let's see. He says, and Jeffrey, instead of looking for your betting site that suits your personal needs, let me suggest to you this, the Blender betting book. Start your own. Well, we considered that, and then we were told afterwards that high school betting is probably frowned upon. And then the Blender bet, we don't know enough about gambling on this show yet to start our own book. We'd lose so much money so fast, it'd be over before it begins, Mr. Pringle. But we'd be happy to put the name Blender Betting Book if somebody wants to pay for it. Well, I don't care. Hell, you put the Blender on anything. I own that name, so we'll make some money. LeBron James says all the Cards critics are now jumping on the bandwagon, and they are the best football squad in the league. Suns max out my guy Ayton, would you? Okay, first. Are the critics? I don't think they are. I think Randy's right. I think they're still
A lot of haters still, yeah.
giving you a cross-eyed look. And as far as your guy Ayton, as soon as he deserves it, I agree. Max out that man as soon as he deserves it. Yes. Box of Screws says Albert Hainsworth. Look it up. That is the worst NFL contract
I
ever.
mentioned that before. $100 million. Well, I don't think it was 100. I think it was like $90 million. Either way, too much money for Albert Hainsworth. Less because when he got there, he did absolutely nothing. And part of it was Albert. He was lazy. And part of it was the organization promised him things that they then rescinded when he got there. He said he didn't want to be a nose tackle. He shows up. They immediately try to change him to being a nose tackle. And he wasn't happy with it. And he handled that poorly. And they handled it poorly. And the result was a guy being paid so much money to lay on the ground while Michael Vick put 63 points on that football team. I'll never forget that contract, that game, that season. It was awful. It was a nightmare. Might be the worst contract ever.
Lost Toby says Jerick McKinnon's Niner contract a few years ago. That was pretty bad.
No, it wasn't good. I don't know if that would be the worst, though.
Fish Tank just sobered up long enough to type this. Fellas, Dolphins are so bad. Thank goodness the Braves have been fun the last couple of days.
That's true.
Fish Tank.
That's true.
I really felt your pain Sunday morning. I don't even know. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say.
Enjoy your Bravos, Fish Tank.
Yeah. Just forget about football for a minute and try to enjoy that. And hopefully the Braves do what they got to do. And then we'll all be happy. Just a Tip says anyone bashing Robert Sarver for not signing Ayton is looking for someone to hate and not reading the facts. Yeah, listen, there has been times in the past to be critical of Sarver. And if he just decides that it's not time, it's not time. But then with the past and all the criticisms, it's easy to take Ayton's side and bash on Sarver. But you got to think about this less emotionally and more business. So I think Sarver will do what needs to be done and will do the right thing when the time comes. But just because you disagree with him doesn't mean he's wrong. Mr. Pringle says, maybe you need some muscle at the Blender book to ensure you don't lose that money. Cue the American Dream, Rusty Rhodes, as your muscle. I don't know that we. First off, he's dead.
Rusty Rhodes.
Yeah, Dusty Rhodes. And,
Dusty.
Yeah,
Rhodes.
and the other part is we're not going to have thugs. And I will license the name Blender to somebody if they want it, but we will have zero to do with thugs collecting money and that sort of thing.
Well, I don't think Dusty Rhodes is a thug. He's the American Dream.
He's also dead. 888-368-1580. So let's move on to the next game. Bengals over the Lions, 34-11. Detroit, winless. Boogie, sad. Me, kind of happy, except for the fact that means that Randy White is closer and closer to losing the bet that will put him into a Detroit Lions hat for an entire year. Now, keep in mind, Randy, I've got an idea. I have an idea. What the bet says, you must wear a hat that says Detroit Lions on it, right?
Yeah.
No, nobody says you can't put another hat on top of it.
Well, that's true, but no, I'll take it like a champion if indeed that's the situation. But I still have time. The season is not over with.
Also, nobody says you can't hook the loop in the back. Wear your Arizona Cardinals hat and loop the back there where the hat just kind of hangs behind you. Nobody said you can't do that. There's lots of loopholes here.
Boy, I appreciate the help, pal.
I'm trying.
I know you are. I'm not worried about this. There's far worse things that could happen to me than for me to have to wear a Detroit Lions hat. Doesn't bother me at all.
I just would hate to have to see you stop wearing your Cardinals red.
It's going to look odd. It's like whenever your favorite player gets traded to another team,
it'll freak you out.
Yeah, and you just look at him in another uniform and it looks wrong.
Yeah.
That Randy wearing anything other than Cardinals red would just look wrong.
My wife even mentioned that. She's like, it's just weird seeing JJ Watt in Cardinals colors. She's like, I'm happy about it, but it is kind of strange seeing it. You're not used to seeing him in this color and in this uniform.
Did you see the shot of him this weekend after that defensive stand they had there in the third quarter? Nobody can block me.
Yes.
I love that. Nobody can block me.
Yep. That's the spirit, buddy. That's the spirit. Just stay healthy. It's all we're asking. Stay healthy. So now Detroit Lions winless, and sadness came across the Detroit land. But the Bengals starting to look good. They're going to be 4-2 now. Burrow getting a little more experience. Got to remember, he's some kind of rookie-ish because he got hurt last year. So he's getting back to where he needs to be all the way around. Nice win for those Bengals. Of course, Dan Campbell, remember when he cried last time they lost? Now he's throwing Jared Goff under the bus. I don't know if you caught that. Jared Goff needs to step up. More about that when we come back. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
You ever hear something on the radio and figure I got to give it a shot? Well, I did. This is Stephen McCollum, host of The Main Event here on The Fanatic. I heard all the ads for Valley Medical Weight Loss and thought, what have I got to lose? I'm a client with Valley Medical Weight Loss, so I know firsthand that it really works. Valley Medical is a true pioneer in the weight loss industry, supervised by board-certified physicians, helping you gain the edge in your weight loss battle, boosting your energy, and getting you real results. 3 Valley locations, so there's one near you. Visit valleymedicalweightloss.com for info, and when you go, mention The Fanatic or Money Radio and get your first week free.
Hi, this is Bruce Jacobs from my friends and former employers at Pro Copy. For over 20 years, Pro Copy has provided Arizona companies with the best office equipment available from companies like Ricoh. More importantly, they provide outstanding service after the sale with a 96% retention ratio and award-winning technicians. 3 years ago, they joined the Flex Technologies Group, an Arizona-based nationwide group of companies that share Pro Copy's commitment to excellence. So if you have branches anywhere in the United States or just here in Arizona, you can get great personalized service even during the current climate. We use them here at the Fanatic and Money Radio KFNN, and they never disappoint because they remain a local company. They give back to our community by supporting ASU and the Thunderbirds through the Phoenix Open. The Pro Copy Foundations has raised hundreds of thousands of dollars. That makes doing business with Pro Copy good for your business. Just give them a call at 602 Pro Copy. That's 602-776-2679.
Your favorite radio station.
And now you're up to date on the news. Stand by for weather and traffic right after this.
It wakes you up, starts your day, and keeps you informed as well as entertained.
You guys are absolutely the best.
How do you like to work here?
At the Fanatic, we're looking for commissioned sales reps to knock on doors, set up appointments, and extol the benefits of advertising with your favorite radio station. Send your resume to jobs at 1580thefanatic.com.
AZ Preps 365 is your headquarters for all things high school sports in Arizona. Brett Quintine, James Mello, and Jose Garcia keep you up to speed with all the action, highlights, interviews, and insider information for the prep sports scene. You need to tune in to AZ Preps 365 every Saturday morning from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on your new home for sports, 1580 and 99.3. The Fanatic. And always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
Nobody protects you from mayhem in Phoenix like Allstate. I'm a broken traffic light,
Stop and go is the name of my game. It's easy. You go, they go. What was it? They go, you go. And if you have the wrong car insurance, these repair costs could stop you in your tracks. So get Allstate's new low auto rate and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Not available in every state based on coverage and limits selected. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
KQFN Tempe, also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K2.2 Rolling Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 4 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. And your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside my heterosexual life partner, Randy White. We got Keon Rose pushing the buttons, and you guys on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580. Broadcasting live in the Harmon Solar Studio in Scottsdale. And I tried to get away with something. My wife wasn't here. I dressed myself. I got a message from her just now saying, why does it look like a skinnier edition of Jay Leno's Garage in there? The denim shirt. Hey, but at least I got called skinny. At least if there's anybody I'm skinnier than, at least it is Jay Leno, right? I got that going for me. Anyways, we are trying to get through all these NFL games, and we have not done very well in the last 2 hours. We only have a half hour left, and we have way too many games. So let's do lightning round on this. Can we do that, guys? Sure.
Let's go for it.
All right. So as I told you earlier, Dan Campbell is blaming Jared Goff, saying he needs to step up more than he has. Last week, I cried for this team. This week, I'm crying about the quarterback. By God, he's not biting kneecaps. The rest of us are biting kneecaps. Why isn't he biting kneecaps? He needs to step up more than he has. And he needs to help us like everybody else is doing. I think he's going to need to put a little weight on his shoulders here. It's time to step up and make some throws, do some things. So what is Dan Campbell can't survive this year as a head coach. I don't think he's a very good coach at all. You just cried and wept and made an ass out of yourself. Oh, this team, I just feel bad for them. And then now you're blaming the quarterback, who you have total control over.
Well, who else is he going to turn to? Which is exactly why, by the way, you don't throw that guy under the bus. You knew what Jared Goff was when you traded for him. You knew that this was a rebuild. You knew that he was a bridge quarterback. By the way, does he need to step up by himself, or is he blocking for himself when he's just getting destroyed by everybody that hits him?
Good point.
Is he throwing to himself? Because I mean, there are a lot of drop passes going on over there.
What's his release time? Maybe not fast enough. You know, the wheels in Jared Goff's head do not turn quickly. He's not a very smart dude.
He's not a very smart guy, but we've seen Jared Goff when he's on a good team, he can be a good quarterback because as long as he doesn't have to just think and just release the football,
he can be an okay quarterback on a good team. Yeah,
he was on the Rams. I don't even remember that.
Yeah, and they went to a Super Bowl like that
and lost horribly.
Well, it was 10-7. I mean, it was a bad game, but they didn't.
The only
lose.
thing that kept them in that was the defense.
Yeah, but is that a horrible loss? Like Brady was on the other side. Was that horrible?
No, you're right.
Too?
That was
so. It was just
a close game. Wasn't close because of Goff. Let's just say that.
Yeah,
he didn't look good.
I'm just saying when you put Jared Goff on this team, you know he's a comfort guy. He only performs well when comfortable. That's it.
Box of Screws says the Lions were god awful yesterday. It hurt. It hurt. It was sad. We suck out loud. Oh my God, the Lions suck out loud. There you go.
Wow.
He typed that all out. I can't leave it unsaid.
That's dedication.
Moving on to another team that, until the last couple of weeks has sucked out loud. But then again, playing soft teams makes your team look better. And the Colts were able to absolutely dominate, thrash, whatever you want to say, 31-3. Darius Leonard was just a monster on the defense. Jonathan Taylor got the job done where he needed to, got 145 yards and 2 touchdowns on only 14 carries. And Carson Wentz, not great, not bad. 11 of 20 for 223 yards. Hey, T.Y. Hilton was back. That was fun. And okay, great.
It helps a little bit. You can put the ball over the top, and it's not hard to put the ball over the top against the Houston Texans because that whole defense is ridiculously terrible.
And listen, Jeffco, you got to look at the bright spots here. Come on, that was a W. That was a W.
I'll take a W. And I wasn't in a bad mood watching them. I've come to grips with who they are, what I'm looking at. And I figured, well, okay, bad team playing bad team theory. I should have at least an entertaining game. And I got a pretty entertaining game there. So, okay, great. I'll be honest. I'm not looking forward to the next game. The Colts versus 49ers. I don't think that goes my way.
Oh boy, yeah. I'm not leaning towards the Colts on that either. That seems a little bit tough.
So let's move on. Don't want to talk about this anymore. Although, like I said, T.Y. Hilton, it was great for a moment, and now he's got a quad injury. They're saying it's probably not serious, but boy, at his age, you know what I'm saying? A random texter, says the same thing. It sucked. It sucked. Thundar Santa Barbarian says the Lions suck, but shouldn't Lions fans be used to that by now? What's with all the dramatics? Well, they dramatically suck, so that's why.
But they're rebuilding. That you're supposed to suck.
They've been rebuilding since 83, 84?
Well, okay. With Matt Patricia, though, they weren't rebuilding. Matt Patricia was supposed to come in and be the guy.
They wasted Barry Sanders' life. They wasted Megatron's life. They're wasting Boogie's life. They're wasting everybody's life.
That's the reason why Matthew Stafford ran away.
Yeah, not soon enough either, because look how good he's doing. Speaking of which, the Rams are now 5-1. It was a blowout win over the Giants. Okay, again, you can't get too proud of that win because there were not many Giants left by the time you got there with all the injuries and issues that they've had. But it was a good performance by Matthew Stafford against the Giants defense. And, again, it was a very, very sad and lopsided win, 38-11. What more do you need to say about that?
Not much. The Giants didn't have a team left.
All right. Speaking of not having a team left, the Chiefs crawling back to 500. They beat your team, the Washington football team.
Yeah.
If it is that hard, and at first it was. Later on it turned out to more of a blowout. But if it's that hard to beat the Washington football team, if you've got to come back to beat them, Patrick Mahomes threw 2 interceptions. One was Tyreek Hill's fault. One was his fault. But still, you had to throw for 397 yards. Now, again, later on became a mess. But still, you had moments where you thought, we could win this. We could win this against the Chiefs, huh?
At halftime, it was close. But I don't know. I don't know if I felt like we could win this because if there's anything the Washington football team can do, it's hang with anybody for a half. They did it against the Bills too. Yeah. Didn't think they were winning that game.
So
I'm trying not to be testy about this, but I hate this team so much.
All right, let's not talk about what I'm not gonna bag on your horrible team because your horrible team has the same record as my horrible team. But what is going on with the Chiefs? The interceptions by Patrick Mahomes. My wife's theory that once there's a baby involved, then people start losing their minds and playing bad. I think Patrick Mahomes has a family problem, to be honest, because now his mom's out on Twitter. Now she's right about what she says, but family should not be out there talking. Randy Mahomes tweeted out, okay, people, that whole Tyreek Hill thing, that should not have been an interception on the quarterback. And it is frustrating. There should be a stat that is a difference between wide receiver dropping it, wide receiver bobbling it, and it goes into another player's hands. There should be a forgiveness method for the quarterback when it comes to those things. But here's the problem. It would be very, very subjective because you could say, well, he bobbled that ball, so it's on him. Was it thrown behind him a little bit? Was it thrown to exactly the right place? If somebody would have to make that determination, and then there's going to be other people out there who are going to argue that they are wrong. It is a fact if the other team makes an interception. It's an opinion on why. Now, you and I, as reasonable people, we could probably get it right most of the time. But when it comes to a statistic, you can't say for 100% certain that it was all on the receiver.
So as much as I get frustrated as anyone else, I don't know. Can you make that a stat differential? Can you establish without a shadow of a doubt that interception belongs to that receiver and not to that quarterback?
I don't think you can. The best I could do for you is if you were to make a tipped interception stat, which isn't going to say whose fault it is, just that it was tipped. That way you at least have a better way of going, this interception is at least different from the one where Pat Mahomes drops the snap and then he's falling backwards and he throws the interception to 3 Washington defenders.
Marking that it is tipped still doesn't tell the story if the quarterback threw it to the right place or if the receiver is to blame. But I understand what you're saying. It gives them a little bit of an edge if they're sitting there in a contract year saying, yeah, but 32 of those were tipped.
Yeah, you know? And it's the most objective I can do for you if that's what you're going to do.
Hey, Randy, we haven't heard from this guy in a while. In fact, since the beginning of the year, he says, hey, gents, says, did your sister says, hey, gents, sorry it's been so long, but I got stuck in another country during all the Corona BS.
Boy.
Wow.
I love that the Cardinals are doing well. ASU had the worst second half all season they've had. And 2, winter in Red Deer, Alberta sucks. He says, no, I was not in prison again.
I'm glad you're back. Did your sister? Very, very good to have you back in the fold here.
I forgot how awkward it is to say that. If I try to start reading the text, it goes, hey, gents, says, did your sister? Makes me sound like, hey, gents, did your sister? And I got to be careful.
But even when you were reading the name before, I was like, what are you saying?
Did your sister?
Yeah.
First Cav Mike says, you guys see the end of Ole Miss Tennessee game? They need to screen for IQ, not COVID.
Yeah, I don't know if it's an IQ thing so much as
I love that text though, First Cav Mike. You are correct.
But
to get in the game, you have to show your IQ score.
Just a bunch of angry people walked into that stadium and they should have known.
Fire.
Yeah. You know whose IQ score needs to be checked? It's Patrick Mahomes' brother Jackson. Did you see? You had to have seen this.
I did see
see this? Did it? It should have upset you, but then he's so dumb, you can believe he didn't know. Here's what happened, Randy. Jackson Mahomes is the idiot brother of Patrick Mahomes. He was throwing water on fans one night. He says stupid stuff. He's always he's like he's this big dumb mascot, and Patrick's sitting there just like, okay, whatever, man. It's Billy Bush all over again, Randy. Billy now, okay. So Jackson Mahomes had to apologize because he's like, hey, I think now's a good time to do a little TikTok. And from what I understand, TikTok, you just dance and you just hold your can and you dance, right? That's pretty much it. I don't know where the music even comes from, but there's music and you dance. He does this down on the field at the Washington football game, and he was in a chained area. Who told them to get in that chained area? I'm not sure.
Oh, but the team did.
The chained area happened to be a respectfully blocked off area where nobody would do what? Stand on the Sean Taylor jersey logo.
Oh, no.
And he did his TikTok
Why
dance.
They put him in there, I don't know. But while he was in there, he's like, well, I'm bored. TikTok dance. And the Washington people saw that and they're like, we're going to kill him. He needs to be murdered.
No kidding.
That is, look, Sean Taylor is sacred in that town. That is the one thing you absolutely cannot do.
Now he tweets out, I want to sincerely apologize for accidentally being on the Sean Taylor number 21 at FedEx Field. We were directed to stand in that area and I meant no disrespect to him or his family. How did this happen, Keon? Who told him to stand in there?
Oh no.
The team did. This is I'm actually more angry about this
team
than the game. Yes.
Your team said, hey,
my team, they roped that place off for VIPs beforehand. That's
stand
normally
on the logo.
Yes. So here's what happened. That is the spot that they normally rope off for VIPs anyway.
Right. So Brittany Matthews was in there. Travis Kelce's girlfriend, Kayla Nicole, was in there.
Yes.
And then this bonehead, Jackson Mahomes.
Who is, I could talk about that for a little bit too, but I'm not going to. I'm going to put that off to the side. A 21-year-old man doing TikTok dances. Stop. But moving that to the side, some dumbass put the logo where the VIPs normally stand.
Oh, so that was just like a normal place.
That is correct. So all the people who were standing there were told to stand there. They put them on the number.
As dumb as Jackson Mahomes is, I think that your team is dumb.
The team is dumber somehow than Jackson Mahomes, a grown-ass man doing TikTok dances. No, because they also did a dedication to Sean Taylor. They named the street out front of the stadium behind him. And you know what?
Like, they called me like 2 days before.
There were porta potties in front of the street for the picture of the inaugural opening of the Sean Taylor Road. This team is stupid, and I do not like them.
So are you ready to make the jump to the
This
Cardinals?
team is stupid.
No, I'm not, because I'm stuck with them. Because
you're not. You just listen. You moved to a new town. I think this is your chance.
The Cardinals are going to be my second team, but I was a little kid with the FedEx football field blimp flying over my house. That's how close we were to the stadium. This is what I know. I just want them to be better about things, and they're not. They're incompetent.
There's a place for you. Just when you're ready, there's a place for you.
Just good God.
We can't. I just don't like to see abuse. I mean, we need an 800 number for Keon. You don't have to take it. You don't have to take it. You can do better.
I just want them for like 2 years in a row. Because every now and then you get a good year. You get an RG3 year. Oh, yay. Or do we get a 9-win game just out of, an Alex Smith year, before obviously our cursed football field breaks his leg. You get good things every once in a while, but that's 5 times in 20 years. My favorite team in the NFC East is the Washington football team. My least favorite team is also the Washington football team.
Keon, your angst is sucking up all the time.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm done. I can't. Like Sean Taylor means a lot to that town, and I can't believe they did that.
You won't take it. I can't help you. Jagdog says worst NFL contract ever. John Gruden. Well, if it had been guaranteed, yes. He's going to get about 40 million out of that 100, and even some people will tell you that's too much. But speaking of John Gruden, the team without him and Rich Bisaccia, that guy, he got a win, but it was over the Denver Broncos, so I wouldn't read too much into that. Derek Carr seemed to do pretty good, though. 341 yards, 2 touchdowns. The defense was doing well. Max Crosby had 3 sacks of Teddy Bridgewater there. I mean, I did not watch the game, so did the Raiders look good, or did the Broncos look like the Broncos?
It was a little bit of both. I mean, the Raiders did look good. Henry Ruggs looked good. I mean, that guy is death to any secondary that's not paying attention. But the Broncos, they didn't play well. And Teddy Bridgewater, there's a ceiling there. He's a good quarterback, a solid, steer your team in the right direction kind of guy. But there's a clear and obvious ceiling there.
It's a good step for Las Vegas to try to just have a winning record, but I wouldn't call them playoff bound. Did your sister says the Washington football team is a bleep show in a clown car parked next to a dumpster fire adjacent to a Japanese nuclear power plant.
I could not have said it better.
You are correct. And we must take a break. When we come back, now we are down to like 6 or 7 more games we have to talk about. We've got to get this done, guys. So we have to go rapid fire when we return. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Kevin Kugler and Ron Jaworski here from Westwood One with a preview of Monday Night Football. From Nashville, we'll have the call as Ryan Tannehill, Derrick Henry, and the Titans play host to the Buffalo Bills. Ron, Tennessee is playing well and leading the AFC South, but the Bills come in looking for their 5th straight win.
Kevin, the Buffalo Bills, after a big win against the Kansas City Chiefs, right now look like the best team in the AFC. They are playing complete football. Obviously, Josh Allen having a terrific season so far, but they are running the football, playing great defense. And, man, if you have to go up to Buffalo late in the season, it's going to be a rough way to win.
That's for sure. But coming up, they face the Titans in prime time on Monday Night Football.
Remember to listen to Westwood One's exclusive coverage of the NFL all season long, right here on 1580 The Fanatic, Arizona's new home for sports.
Did you know the arrow in Amazon's logo represents A to Z? Maybe the My Computer Career logo should represent unemployed to employed. Ryan was out of work when he started classes in March. In September, he started his IT career working for Amazon, making more money than he ever thought possible. Here's a prime opportunity. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. You could start your new life as an IT pro in as little as 4 months. It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
Hey, frequent heartburn may keep you from running your A game, but it doesn't have to anymore. Join the Prilosec OTC 2-week challenge. Just go to prilosecotc.com. You'll get $3 off to get you started, plus 14 days of tips, tricks, and reminders. Just 2 weeks, zero heartburn. Go to prilosecotc.com and sign up today. Zero heartburn is possible with Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
This is Aaron Warby, host of the Bulls and the Bears Radio Hour. In the show, we try to teach the tools, rules, and strategies that traders and investors need to do better with their wealth and portfolio income. But most of the time, an hour is just not long enough. At Online Trading Academy, we believe that the average person should be given the tools, rules, and strategies that Wall Street's elites have been using for years to outperform others. Are you one of the millions that have recently established a trading account? Or have you always wanted to trade or take a more active role in guarding and growing your own wealth, but have not had the know-how or confidence? We want to invite you out to a complimentary 3-hour power trading and investing workshop, where you'll learn what it is that the professionals use to limit their risks and maximize their possible gains in both trading and investing. To register, call 8448-TRADER. That's 844-887-2337, or text the word stocks to 25029. Again, that's stocks to 25029. Reserve your seat now.
Mortgage interest rates remain near historic lows. So whether you're wanting to lower your interest rate, take cash out to remodel your home, or pay off credit card or installment debt, now is the perfect time to refinance or purchase a home. Call David White at 480-244-6625. 480-244-6625 to review your mortgage options and to take advantage of David's 32 years of industry experience, incredible customer service, and competitive interest rates. We shop the market for the best interest rates so you don't have to. So call David at 480-244-6625. That's 480-244-6625. Call David now to discuss your mortgage options and before interest rates go up at 480-244-6625. That's 480-244-6625. Don't wait. Call today and take advantage of the low rates. David White, NMLS 322907 of AmeriFirst Financial Inc. NMLS 145368, an equal housing opportunity lender.
NASCAR Championship weekend returns to Phoenix Raceway November 5th through the 7th.
A wild season of unexpected will culminate in Phoenix with drivers putting it all on the line for their shot
at earning the title of NASCAR Cup Series champion.
Featuring 4 championship races in 3 days.
Don't miss your chance to witness history from atop the grandstands as the action goes 5 wide into the iconic dog leg.
Or from up close with access to the fan-friendly infield experience.
Get your tickets to see the NASCAR Championship in person.
Go to phoenixraceway.com.
Hurry, tickets won't last much longer.
Distracted driving kills in Arizona. Life is more important than your phone's beep. Stop the distracted driving, Arizona, please. Sponsored by the Arizona Chapter National Safety Council and the Governor's Office of Highway Safety, aired in cooperation with the Arizona Broadcasters Association and this station.
If you're not spending every waking moment checking us out online,
you'd better have a good excuse.
Yeah. We've loaded up our website with the stories, picks, video, podcast, commentary, and more. The kind of stuff you love.
Hey, it takes a lot of time to post all this junk.
And you'll love every bit of it. Very well.
Or at least most of it.
It appears that the website has become alive.
Get it now.
It's on the internet.
1580thefanatic.com.
Today, the Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic, Arizona sports betting station, and I was all stressed out because we have so little time left. Turns out we only have 2 more games to talk about. I don't know why I thought we had a bunch more.
So I guess we can relax a little bit.
I think we've got some teams on bye week this week too, so that helps us get more games in.
That's true. Card's voice texts in, says, "Hi, man. Just wanted to say hi because, well, you know."
Jim Barnett, you're the man.
Yep. Cardinals are 6, and I think he just wants me to do this. 6-0. Okay, there you go. All right.
Wow.
So let's get these two games taken care of, shall we? The Cowboys had a win, 35-29, and it took everything they had to beat Mac Jones. So everybody who wants to anoint the Cowboys, and Randy is afraid they're going to make them the number one on the power rankings, not so fast. Don't think this. Now, listen, Dak Prescott's awesome. Ezekiel Elliott is starting to get better, but this is not a dominant Cowboys team, is it? I mean, there's a lot of weak spots, especially in that defense. If the Patriots can score 29 on you.
Well, if you talk to different people around the league, they'll tell you that this Cowboys team is re-energized and refreshed, especially with the return of Dak Prescott and the kind of confidence he's going about playing these games with. He's unafraid to run the football. He's unafraid to stand in there, take hits in the pocket. He's unafraid to deliver the football into tight windows, and it's paying off. Ezekiel Elliott seems to have stepped up a bit more now that Dak Prescott is back behind center. And this defense they got Dan Quinn in there, who's say what you will about his head coaching facilities, but he's a damn good defensive coordinator.
Yeah,
he's got the Dallas defense playing pretty damn well. And not to mention what's his name, the cornerback for the Dallas Cowboys,
Trayvon Diggs.
Trayvon Diggs is just amazing. 5 games, 5 picks. The guy is incredible.
Yeah, well, Dak Prescott hurt his calf on the final play of the game that they're saying that he should be okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's look, Dak's playing really well, but he's taking a lot of shots. That offensive line is beaten up. That's probably one of the biggest weaknesses of the team. The other big weakness, Mike McCarthy.
Yes,
tried to
biggest weakness.
manage them out of that game, and I do not understand how they hired him, why they hired him, why they think he's still a good coach. He is an anchor.
In the press conference, he was just like, well, I did what I could, but they won anyway, so I'll try to do better next time. So in the last game of the night, Sunday Night Football, the Seahawks take out the Steelers take out the Seahawks 23-20, and really you jinxed yourself by letting Jamal Adams go on that little thing where they introduce the defense, and Jamal Adams goes on there and says, Jamal Adams, the best in the nation. And then right after that, he let a clutch interception just go whoop, right through his punk, hit him in the head instead of catching the damn ball, which is his thing though. But that right there was a sign of things to come, even though it took overtime. Let me tell you why it took overtime. It was a horrible game. It was one of the worst
bad
games
game
I've had to sit through in a long time. They ran the hell out of the ball because Geno Smith is bad. And they ran the hell out of the ball on the other side because Ben Roethlisberger's old. And he can't throw more than 8 to 10 yards. So it was just bad football. And it's not, listen, I don't mind a good running attack. I don't mind hey, let's get in there and duke it out. That's fine. But it was just all around bad football.
Yeah, like the beauty of football is that it's violent chess. That's what it is. And so like having all of the ability to throw the ball makes the game more interesting. Even if you prefer to run, if you can throw, it gives the game another dimension. Neither team could throw. Neither team could throw the football. And that is miserable to watch. I didn't watch the overtime. I'm not going to lie. They tied it up and went to overtime. And I just stopped watching. I went to go get dinner with my brother. I couldn't do it. It was so ugly.
I'm in too deep. I have to finish watching this horrible game. And by the end, I didn't care who won as long as somebody were to
just end it, please. Let me go to bed.
Thunder Snow says, don't let him fool you. Did your sister was totally in jail. And Did Your Sister, probably right. Did Your Sister says, hey, tell the new guy my other name choices were Smell My Finger and So You Think Your Mom's Not a Slut. Those were the ones I really wanted.
And all of a sudden your name seems very appropriate.
Yeah, Did Your Sister is the lesser of those evils, if you believe that or not. Screaming Eagle says Vic Fangio's on the hot seat. Fed Fan says, Keon, your first big mistake is supporting anything called FedEx. And
I didn't know any better. I was 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't read all of these texts to get it done in time. So sorry, Hot Chub, Time Machine, Blissful Haze, Lost Toby, Box of Screws, Big George. Oh, geez, we didn't do Big George Sports History. Sorry about that, Big George, but he sent it in late. It's not my fault. Everybody enjoy the game. Coming up next, it is the Bills at Titans on Westwood One. See you tomorrow here on 1580 The Fanatic. Have a good night.
Jacobs and Haley, 6 to 10 weekday mornings.